Good morning, everyone. Mike Flanagan, Matt Turek here with you for the Cashers round at the 2016 Bradley Open. The best of the best, top 40 are here, Matt.
Yeah, that's right. It all comes down to this. They're going to be making a big cut now today after this top 40 bowls 5 games. They're going to go to the top 8. Starting coming in right now, the top 8 is currently plus 26.
Oh, okay.
So it's all kind of bunched up a little bit. I was trying to look at the standings a little bit just to see who's going to have a good shot at making it to the top 8. I imagine there's going to be a lot of moving and shaking going on today. And bowlers are going to want to get off to an early start.
I imagine so as well. The thing that I take back that's interesting to me is the leaders. We have a tie at plus 53. And coming in at the numbers, Zeke Beta took extended play last night against Mitch Beasley in a roll-off. You can go see that on our YouTube channel. Minus 53. So you got plus 53 to minus 53 between the 40 bowlers.
Yep. It's exciting. It's going to be hard-hitting action. It's a little blustery outside, but the action's about to heat up here inside the bowling.
Absolutely. We got snow on the ground, and we've got a slick lane surface out there. 44 milliliters of oil extended 46 feet down the lane. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Very low scoring yesterday. Some folks got some sleep. Some folks didn't. Let's see how they fare today. Let's take them out to the lanes. We've got our same feature pairs as yesterday.
Yeah, this is 25 and 26. Starting out here, I know you mentioned it earlier in the intro. Brandon Holt is A. Donnie Todd Sr. is B. Erin McCarthy is C. And her brother, E.J. Tackett, is D.
We call them brother and sister because they have similarities in their looks and appearances, according to a lot of folks online in the bowling community.
Yeah, and Erin bowled pretty well yesterday. Her game kind of fits this pattern. She's nice and slow, and she can play very straight with little low hand, low revs, and just work the ball right into the pocket.
Yeah, she's a touch and feel player, and that's what you got to do when the lanes are just so hard. And the other thing about Erin, for sure, is she's a great spare shooter.
Yes, very good, and that's key. This whole weekend, the key has been makeable spares, single pin, 2 pins together close by, no splits. You have to make the spares. We saw that in the roll-off game, how important that was, and at the end of the advancers round last night.
You guys got enough wires back there?
I think so. Just a little bit, Dave Wodka is going to join us in the booth for most of the day here. Certainly appreciate that.
Yeah, excellent news.
Couldn't make this happen without New Center Consulting and Hammer Bowling Products, our 2 co-title sponsors. Other associated sponsors we'll get to at the end of game number 1.
Yeah, if you want to check out information on New Center Consulting, they have a website, but it has eluded me now.
Upgrade your scoring.
UpgradeYourScoring.com.
So 5 games is going to go very fast this morning, as there's just 2 per lane.
My son Hayden, I said hi.
And what's your name, sir?
Greg Van Gundy.
Greg Van Gundy. Giving a shout out to Hayden, who's watching online right now.
8 years old.
8 years old. Hopefully you're a bowler, Hayden, and hopefully you'll be able to take after Dad and take up this great game and compete in the Bradley Open in probably about 2026. Or if you stay down and bowl junior gold, maybe around 2030 we'll see you in the field. So that's a really good story. It's awesome. This tournament pattern has been designed just for this event by the crew here. The head mechanic and Jason Uchwal. They've designed this pattern together, and they've done a very good job of it. And it's been very consistent year to year with how hard they are. We had 300 yesterday by Brandon Novak, and the very first 300 of the tournament, we have a sponsor. Greg Earlywine at Earlywine Painting Contractors offered $1,000 to the first 300, and yesterday Brandon Novak did so. The year before, Brian Himmler, the chief, bowled 300, and those are the only 2 300s in the last 10 years in this event. This event has been going on since 1979, which was one of the best years known to mankind, 1979.
Why is that, Mike?
I was born on September 5th, which means I got a birthday coming up in about 9 months.
So do I.
You do. We are you the second?
I'm the 4th.
The 4th. Well, that explains a lot about our booth.
Going over some of the standings here, some of the names that I'm going to pay attention to today. J.R. Raymond's only 45 pins out of the top 8 to start this 5-game block. And if he can get out to an early start with a 220 game and stay consistently around 190 to 205, 210, he could make a jump into the top 8. Aaron McCarthy's 55 pins back, a couple spots behind J.R. And a close friend of mine, Ben Pallardy, is also very close. Can make a good jump if he gets to an early lead here. They are bowling on fresh, so the lanes are very tight and very slick, as we talked about here in the intro. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out today.
What's cool is a 205 average with this field through 5 games is in the top 8.
Right.
Just on the outside looking in 9th position, is the world champion Tom Smallwood. Ronnie Sparks Jr., his fellow Brunswick teammate, in 10th. Corey Gilbert sits 11th. Chris Vi, who is the national amateur champion, just off of team trials 4 days ago out at the Gold Coast in Las Vegas. He's 13th. Ari Wilson sporting a Chicago Blackhawks themed jersey today. Sits in 12th, actually tied with Chris Vi. Aaron Morgan, Justin Billings, Brian Dennis, Matthew Farber, Jimmy Cook, Jeff Fair, Derek Patterson, Charles Easton, Joshua Berry, and then it gets down to J.R. Raymond, as you mentioned.
We do have a couple Brandon Novak fans in the chat, Chris Vi fans in the chat.
That's another story. Brandon Novak has the opportunity to repeat as champion this year.
Yeah, he sure can. And he can also become the second player, if I'm not mistaken, to win twice or 3 times. Is that? No, that's not true. I take that back.
What was that?
Oh, I thought Brandon Novak had won more than 1 year. But he did not.
He's won a lot of stuff, though.
He has. No stranger to winning.
Special guest, and I'm really surprised we have him today, from the Seattle Seahawks, quarterback Russell Wilson. Welcome to the booth, Russell.
Good to be here. How are you guys this morning?
Good morning, Dave Wodka.
Cold.
This is a big day for you, Dave. This is a big playoff game. You're a huge Seattle Seahawks fan. Saw you already update your social media this morning.
It is game day.
And good luck today to the Seattle Seahawks on behalf of Dave Wodka.
Thanks. Looking forward to watching the game today.
Dave, you competed in this event, and these lanes were brutal, and I know you had a tough go of it. You made it to the round last night. Talk a little bit about this oil pattern.
It's very heavy. There's a lot of volume, and it's actually not probably as long as people think. It's only 46 feet. I mean, we certainly bowl on some stuff that's longer, but the amount of volume on the lane, and it makes it appear that there's more volume at the end of the pattern, so the ball looks like it's going to start to pick up, and then it goes backwards, basically.
One thing we did not really talk about much this weekend is the type of oil they're using. Do we have that information back in the truck?
I actually don't even know. We'd have to get that information.
Well, I heard Kegel. I heard the word Kegel, so it's a Kegel lane conditioner. If I had to guess, I would say they're using, I don't think they're using ice. I would say they're using maybe Infinity. That's just a guess,
All
a
right.
complete guess.
You may be right.
Hey, Matt, what's going on? We got another feature pair. Maybe we can
sure do.
move down there.
Check that out down here. This is 19 and 20. A, Matthew Farber. B, Aaron Morgan. C, Chris Vi. And D, Ronnie Sparks Jr.
And Farber's an interesting story because it's only been a couple of years that they've allowed for the re-entry squad, which is $100.
This is the third year.
And no one has ever won the tournament from the re-entry squad. And this year, Farber could.
It's a possibility. He's certainly turned it up a little bit after the struggle he had in the first squad. He bowled really good in the re-entry squad, and then he bowled good last night to make it to here.
And the way the re-entry squad worked is it was a $300 entry to bowl this tournament, and the re-entry squad was only $100. And obviously it was just open to the bowlers that had already participated that did not make it into the top 62 from the first two squads. So we had 20 bowlers take to the lanes last night with 8 advancing on that $100 entry, and that's how Farber got here today.
Scores are looking rather low to start the day so far.
Yes, they certainly are.
We do have a 4-bagger on our feature pair 25 and 6. I believe that's Brandon Hott with the front 4.
Sure is. And Dave, this is your territory now as you work for Ebonite International and you pull double time. Not only do you bowl professionally and bowl as much as you can, but you also have a job in the industry, and this is your territory. And I want to commend you. We talked about it yesterday on being able to get the word out about this tournament. And I believe about 20% of the field is here because of your efforts online, getting your staffers here and that in the area. So kudos to you, Dave.
Well, thanks. I believe in this tournament. It's a great event. Jason and his crew here put on a great event, and I wanted to make sure we supported it, especially with Hammer being the sponsor of the event. I want to make sure that we have as much support here as we can get.
And the other thing is I know that you and Jason were instrumental in bringing us here. And anytime we go to a new event, it's always a little scary for us with internet connections. We don't know where we're going. We don't know where we got to tape stuff down. And we really just don't know how we're going to be accepted into the bowling center. And we've been accepted as family this weekend. Everything's been ready for us. And hopefully we get to come back for many years to come. You know, we had a chance yesterday to meet Danny Collins, the president here of Collins Bowling Centers, as they have 2. We found out that he's a third-generation owner. His grandpa and his father both have owned the center and wants to pass it on to his kids. And they're constantly doing things to upgrade the center thanks to folks like New Center Consulting. And we had Glenn in from New Center Consulting yesterday. So just a lot of support by the sponsors wanting to get in the booth and be part of it. And we couldn't be happier with this event, and hopefully we're here for years to come.
Yeah, I hope so too. I think it's been a good partnership so far, and I know Jason and I will be having a meeting shortly after this event's over to talk about next year, and hopefully we can continue our sponsorship.
Brandon Hott on our other featured pair got 5th strike. We're going to switch back there very shortly.
Looks like we've got some.
Yeah, there's I think a pin stuck in the gutter cap. Looks like they got it out successfully.
You know, another guy who could win this tournament and has won just about everything up in Michigan, and we've seen him win on our webcast before at the TMBA Reed Hawthorne 2 years ago, is Ronnie Sparks.
Yeah,
he's been bowling good lately. He bowled really good out at the World Series. He bowled good at the Fall Classic. So he's been on a little bit of a roll. He definitely is a factor today.
Ari Wilson is another guy. He's been kind of snake-bitten on our webcast recently. He hasn't been able to really do a whole lot. I know he really struggled out in Las Vegas at the Swerve Open that we did. And it would be nice to see Ari in the top 8 just because, you know, Ari deserves one. At events we've been at, he's struggled a bit. So we're wishing Ari well wishes today as well. Matt, quickly, could you go over to 25 and 6? I have an observation I want to tell you guys about.
Okay.
You see this EJ Tackett right here up on lane 26?
I see him.
When Mike Flanagan was his age, or just a little bit younger, I guess, Mike Flanagan only wore khakis to bowl in with a collared shirt, always tucked in. Probably tucked in a little too much. He reminds me of myself and the style that I used to wear when I bowled.
Except that he strikes a lot more than you do.
Back in the day,
he throws the ball harder,
I was
too.
probably a 10 handicap against EJ at his age. Well, not at his age right now. Maybe 4 years ago. How long has he been bowling? 4.5?
Something like that.
Anyway, I just wanted to point that out because I know everybody cares that EJ Tackett is wearing a similar outfit to what I wore to every bowling tournament from 1995 to year 2000.
We're going to keep it here for Brandon's sixth shot in this game. He has all strikes so far, and I'm not going to watch because I'll definitely black cloud. So I'm going to come down here and watch.
And don't forget, Inside Bowling has stepped up today, and we are giving away a bonus for any 300 game today.
And what is that bonus, Mike?
Anything you want out of the vending machine just behind us. There's an Aquafina machine back there, and we'd be more than happy to purchase any item you'd like.
That's outstanding. What a great
machine.
incentive.
I know. Tell me about it. We've upgraded. 4 years ago, it used to be Cheetos.
Yep.
Huh?
You didn't even get the pick. You just got Cheetos.
You just got a bag of Cheetos,
Yeah,
huh?
I hope you like them.
They were 65 cents in the vending machine. I believe the Gatorades are $2 here. So that's an increase over 4 years if you're an inflation buff of 300%.
Moving up in the world, Mike.
I know.
Brandon left a 4-pin. It was almost a 4-9. He was late to get the 9 out, so good luck to him in the rest of this game. Still an excellent game to start.
Yeah, anytime you can get a 5-bagger on this pattern, that's really, really good.
And Brandon's came in and in 8th place, right on the bubble of the cut they're going to make after 5 games at plus 26. So 279 will definitely jump him up very, very high. Probably into the top 3 at least.
We've got a Joe Salvimini mention here in the chat by Superior Pack Fan 1997. Says he gets to go to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and watch my buddy Joe Salvimini bowl the qualifying and meet Walter Ray, Norm Duke, etc., and bowl a Pro-Am with 6 different pros. Give me a shout out. Thanks for being a fan of bowling, and I've told this story before, and I'm going to tell it again. When I did some work for the PBA and working for Extra Frame when Tom Clark gave me the opportunity to do so, one of my first events was in Vegas. I believe it was the Senior U.S. Open. And I've gotten really a lot better with names, but there was one name that just absolutely ate me up, and I could not spit it out properly, and I felt like a complete idiot the entire week. And it was Joe Salvimini. And I have totally worked on that name, and he keeps coming back to haunt me throughout our chats over and over again. But I've got it down now. And Joe Salvimini, I had a chance to meet him. What a great guy he is. So a shout out to Joe Salvimini and his fan here in the chat, Superior Pack Fan 1997. Now, if I can only pronounce Dave Wodka properly.
You'd be surprised how many people can't.
What do you get, the old Wodka?
Yeah, that, Wodka. Just people spell it with an A instead of an O.
Wodka.
Do a quick housekeeping update. Let's keep it clean in the chat there. You will be blocked, never to be seen again. We give no warnings here in the chat. You just will be blocked, as we already had to do so this morning.
Thank you, Matt, for keeping track of that.
Morning, Greg. Shout out to Greg M in the chat there.
What I like about Greg M is how precise he is about his name. Greg M.
Yeah.
I like it.
No question who it is.
No. Mm-mm.
Nope, it's Greg. It's Greg M.
That's why nobody chats in our chat, because we can just at any time just absolutely just make fun of them, trash their name, and then ban them.
Yeah, with no warning.
Yeah, we had some trolls last night at the very end of the night. Which, when it gets to be the end of the night, Dave, that's the last thing we feel like doing.
Yeah, I'm sure after you've been here for 16 hours on the microphone, I'm sure that's the last thing you're trying to deal with.
There have been 3 people this weekend, for whatever reason, that have decided to hit the thumbs down button. We've had 3 people not like our broadcast.
We pissed some people off, I guess.
And we
do such a terrible job.
We have had 46 people hit the like button this weekend.
Doug Moss 18 is a huge Dave Wodka fan.
Yeah.
So you got a
good morning, Doug. Doug is one of our Columbia 300 staff players from the Dayton area.
Nice. So Brandon Hott has cooled a little bit. 8 spare in the 7th. Still a good game. 267 off. Still a big jump.
Matt, can we get a shot at the other pair down there?
Let's head on down. 19 and 20.
See Farber throw a shot right there, and we're going to see Chris Vi get up on the right lane. Chris Vi, fresh off his national amateur champion victory
over Cameron
a couple days ago.
Yeah,
over Cameron.
His dad's been in the chat all weekend too.
Yep, and he's in there this morning again. We welcome him.
And a little wide there for Chris. Very easy to do on this pattern. You get it going just a little bit offline to the right, and it will not hit the head pin.
Yep, it's rough out there.
Matt Turek, Dave Wodka, and Mike Flanagan here, bringing you game 1 of 5 in this Cashers round. We have 40 bowlers bowling this morning. We'll reduce down to 8 if you're just joining us and just getting up. It's a little early as you head out west.
It's only 6:30.
That's funny you say that to him. He's telling me yesterday he doesn't understand how I can get up at the crack of dawn.
I'm that way myself. I'm 5:36 a.m. every morning.
Yeah, I get up at 5:30 for work. I usually get out of bed by 5:45 though, but I can't sleep past 9 o'clock. Boy, Jason's looking snazzy this morning.
He is.
He's wearing a tie, nice shirt.
You just putting a nice comment out there because he's got an earpiece in and can hear us?
Yeah, well, maybe. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what. That back channel, Audio Technica back channel,
that's amazing.
Is going to solidify us returning to this event. Because I know how much he's enjoyed being able to listen to this back channel. And we are the only ones with the back channel.
Thank you, Audio
That's
Technica.
pretty cool.
This was a $1,400 investment.
So is somebody can have that and listen to the whole thing?
Yeah, we got 5 of them.
Nice.
And you can walk around and listen. That's how I'm able to go around with the wireless. So I slap one of those in my pocket, put my earpiece in, and
it's a pretty cool deal.
Off to the races. And this is actually the box right here that does all that. The other cool thing is with that is that other side over there, we can run that into the board, and that's the left ear because the other one's the right ear. And Matt could actually communicate on a separate device with like somebody down the lane with a camera, and could just turn it back and forth and have two different channels. It's really a cool thing.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'll have to try to show up to more of your events so I can work with you more and learn all of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're still learning ourselves.
Yeah,
the way my bowling performance has been the last few months, I need a different second job.
Oh man. Do you have a coach, Dave, that you work with? Like if you're ever in a slump that you go and work with?
I used to go to Baker, Mark Baker, but he's a little far away now. when I was in Vegas, I went to Baker. Probably, I would go at least once a year, just if I felt something was out of whack. The last time I went and saw him was a few years ago now, actually, but he helped me tremendously. I went and saw him about 2 months before the World Series a couple of years ago, and I ended up making 4 out of the 5 cuts at the World Series. So it was. He definitely is very good at what he does, and especially somebody like myself that he's worked with before, because he knows my game so well. It doesn't take him very long to fix me.
Well, here's the other thing. Mark Baker has got some cool DVDs out there too, and Mark Baker's a friend of ours, and I know that he's just recently made a change and has kind of left the EBI family and all those good things, but Mark does great things for bowling, and maybe old Bakes needs to get a call from the Wads.
Yeah, if I could make a trip to the West Coast, I certainly would try to fit it in, because it's been a complete disaster for a couple months now for me, bowling wise.
There's a lot of great coaches out there, and I don't want to leave any off, of course, but one other person that I do have to mention that's a personal friend of mine that I've gone through the lessons with, and I highly recommend checking him out, is Mike Jazz now.
Yeah, yep, I like Jazz a lot also. Talked to him a little bit when we were out for the World Series a couple weeks ago, but again, that's for me to go out there. It's a long trip for me to go out there to see either one of those guys. And with my work schedule, I just don't have a whole lot of days off.
Yeah.
We're getting close to the end of game 1 here.
Yeah, we sure are.
Eighth, ninth frame.
Trying to look around at the scores.
Brandon Hott's still got a good game going here on 25 and 6. He can strike out in the 10th for 256.
Aaron McCarthy can bowl 214. EJ Tackett can only bowl 202, and that's if he throws the back 5. He'll be up in the 9th after Aaron.
If Brandon strikes out, it'll get him to plus 82.
Probably put him in the lead.
Well, it might, depending on Brandon Novak. Aaron Lorenz, they're all down on the low end.
Who's the C bowler on 16? Do we have that information? Matt Ogle with 238 the first game. That's a pretty good start.
Yeah, he's down. He was minus 45 to start.
Got Jason Sterner can strike out in the 10th for 244.
Yeah, he had a good look. He's playing like right up a 12 maybe or something, 12, 13, and it's like he's rolling the ball right at the pocket. It's interesting. It just shows how good he is.
Yeah,
I change his hand position like that and actually be consistent on this hard pattern.
I crossed with Jason on A squad yesterday, bowled with him, and same thing. He just kept keeping it in play. He had a pretty good look. He bowled about 15, 20 over. Just keep it in play.
Yeah, just to get to today.
Yep.
One of the hardest workers in this bowling industry there as an athlete.
Taking a look over here on 27 and 8, we got J.R. Raymond. If he strikes on his fill ball, we'll have 218. So that's a pretty good start as well.
That is a good start for J.R. 218 will put him at -1.
Tom Doherty is bailing out a game of 2-0.
We got Greg M. asked whatever happened to who had the front 5. Greg, that's Brandon Hott. He's getting ready to finish his game on 25 and 26, and we'll get a look at it right now. He's getting up in the 10th frame. He can shoot 256. He is the A bowler right now on your screen.
Well, Ricky Matsko chiming in the chat.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, Mike.
I got to look at Jason if you want to see him.
Let's take a look at Brandon Hott's first shot right here in the 10th, see what he does. And perfect.
Strikes.
So he's in the 240s.
Oh, look at Jason. Look at that shirt.
He is looking snazzy today.
Yeah, he's
Check that out.
Looking good. Looking good.
Yeah, he just said that we're not allowed to come back now after this.
And Aaron McCarthy up in the 10th with a chance to shoot 214. That's a great shot. Yep,
wow.
Great shot there. So she's in the 2-0s now with a chance for 214.
Looks like this pair might get done first out of our two pairs.
Yeah, the other pairs are still just starting the 10th frame. And Brandon Hott with another great shot, so he's in the 250s.
Gonna get a look here at old Stearnsy. One of the hardest workers.
Yeah, there are not too
the
many
lanes.
people that practice more than that guy does.
No, Greg, I'm not the guest. Ricky's best friend, Dave Wodka, is the guest.
Yeah, let's see how Mr. Sterner does right here. He didn't look like he liked that one too much.
No, it was a little
that was
left.
just bad.
Yeah.
And again, it's really easy to do something like that on this. You're so afraid to throw it to the right because you know it's not going to hook, so you shut it down, and then you get that.
Let's look at Aaron McCarthy going for the same split. Was a Greek church. I guess the 7 fell out for Aaron.
So Aaron, 203 for Aaron. Not a terrible start. Tom Doherty did bail out a game. He threw the back 5 for 200 even.
Nice.
And that is huge.
Yeah, being able to do that. And yeah, to answer your question there, Happy Gilmore, the pins do carry over. And that's all right, Greg. I just woke up too. Coffee is my friend.
Special guest Matt Turek here joining us in the booth.
I have been a guest one time. I'll never forget it. In Vegas. I joined a block for, I think it was the True Amateur Tournament a couple years ago.
Give you another update down there. Brett Shepard started with 232. So there's another pretty good game.
Brett Shepard. His name was towards
Brand new
top, wasn't it?
brand new EBI staffer, Brett Shepard.
Yeah, he told me his favorite ball so far is the Warrior Elite, Brett Shepard.
That game will put him close to even.
I'll tell you what, if you ever have a chance to come out to one of these events, I know watching online we provide coverage for you, but you should come out to the events and hang out near the booth sometime for at least a block. Because there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes that you really don't get to see that I think you'd really enjoy. Just for instance, Brett Shepard was walking by when we were talking about him. And the minute I said his name, as he was walking by, his hand just goes in the air and waves as he walks by.
Yeah, but don't make eye contact with us. We'll interview you.
I know. I also know Chris Vai's dad, I believe, is in the chat. Give you a quick update on Chris. Chris finished with 196 the first game. Actually, I'm sorry. Chris did not. Chris finished with 178 the first game. I had the wrong letter there. So he finished with 178 the first game.
So let's head on down to 19 and 20, where they're just now finishing up their 10th frame here. Game number 1 at the 2016 Bradley Open, brought to you by Hammer Bowling and New Center Consulting. Matt Turek, Dave Wodka, Mike Flanagan. Talking to you from Lexington, Kentucky.
Snowy Lexington, Kentucky.
Yeah, it's cold outside, but the action's heating up here in the bowling alley. Center.
Thank you.
House.
Don't make me correct you.
I'm going to start using establishment.
The bowling establishment.
Or fun house.
I don't think it's very fun today.
Sure it is. $10,000 being put in your hand.
It's going to be fun for somebody.
Yeah.
There is one thing that this tournament has over the Powerball. At least you can win the money here. The Powerball, you can't. I'm starting to think it's a conspiracy.
Yep.
How can you sell that many tickets and nobody wins?
Well, we talked about this last night at dinner, and you can now spend, I think it's $530 million, and you can buy every combination of numbers in Powerball to win $1.6 billion before taxes. Now you only have 4 or 5 days to fill out every slip and every combination.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Oh, I'm sure Burkhart could write some sort of printing
device. He probably
device.
could, and then write a script to do it, and he could probably get maybe 30 or 40 pages out a minute. But I don't even know if that would be enough. We're talking 300 million tickets.
Ricky just asked if we've seen much of a difference in the way the pattern's playing as it's been laid out more. I don't know. I'm not sure if they started.
It's only been oiled 3 times, right?
Yeah, they've had 3 strip and re-oils, and it appears so far that the scores are about the same. Most of the time when they strip and re-oil, they tend to get tighter down the lane, but they're so tight down the lane already. I don't know that you really notice that much of a difference.
So over here now, game 2 here on 25 and 6. We watched him for a shot last time. D is Jason Sterner. Also on this pair, A, Brian Dennis, B, Steve Novak, C, Corey Gilbert, D, Jason Sterner.
And Steve Novak, I would say he's a bit of an underrated player. He can play all angles. Been around the game for a long time. He's a USBC Open Championships Eagle winner. He stepped into Dan Dorian's footsteps after Dan left us a couple years ago, and now he's a coach at Saginaw Valley State, and he's one of our staffers, right, Dave?
He is, and with him being the coach at Saginaw Valley, now we've also signed on them to the Hammer brand, so they are a Hammer sponsored school this year as well. And we've got some staffers that came out of Saginaw Valley too. Bill O'Neill, Saginaw Valley alumni, Dan McClellan, J.R. Raymond. So we've got some ties there.
And in this bowling tournament as well, Brian Wallachek went there.
Yep, and Brian Wallachek, yes. So they've had some good teams over the years with those names.
For sure. I remember back in 1997, I was bowling a youth tournament in St. Louis that was around the collegiate team match games. It was the Midwest High School Collegiate Championship where the college bowlers would qualify and the high school bowlers in the St. Louis area would qualify a couple months prior. And I got teamed up with Robert Eddy, who went to Saginaw Valley at the time. And my best friend Mark Krieger got paired up with Brian Wallachek. Both were going to Saginaw at the same time. And if you want to go search for that on the internet, 1997 Midwest High School Collegiate Shootout at Olivet Lanes. You want to see who won that event? Mr. Wallachek finished below Mr. Flanagan in that one. Robert Eddy and Mike Flanagan got the W that day.
Well, I'm going to have to go look that up now. I'm going to have to take a break from the booth so I can go get my computer and go look that up.
It's been all about me this morning, let me tell you, folks. I'm reminiscing. E.J. Tackett dresses like me. Now I'm thinking about when I was bowling looking like that. I guarantee you I was in khakis that day, and I had glasses on. Some sort of tucked-in polo shirt where you could see all of my belt because it was tucked in too much.
A lot of people used to do that back then.
My hair was parted, though, perfectly off to the side. And I probably had a pocket protector on.
Tape on your hold your glasses
Bowler's
together.
tape. Bowler's tape, yep.
Yeah, exactly.
I used to beat them away with a stick, let me tell you.
Sounds like it.
Ricky says you're probably using a steel rhino.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ricky probably has 4 or 5 in his bag.
Well, what Ricky's got is he's got video evidence of this. He's got old VHS tapes of us practicing.
Really?
Yeah.
VHS tapes.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
You can't even
play those anymore, can
you?
you?
Have to go to like a flea market or something to buy a player.
Isn't there an app you can just point it at the VHS tape and it'll start playing on your phone? If that's not invented yet, I think it should be.
Oh, man.
There's probably people bowling in this field today that don't even know what a VHS tape is.
Probably right. Well, here's a true story. Harvey Johnson can attest to this, who's just off to the left of the booth with his own computer out. Harvey Johnson on Friday went up to Cameron Doyle and Anthony Simonson and asked them both, would they be interested in bowling the Lucy with Wendy McPherson? And they said, who's that?
That's outstanding.
Wow. Wow.
And then we got on this debate. I was talking to Matt. I said, you got to realize I'm twice Cameron Doyle's age.
Yeah, I know. We were talking about that yesterday because I asked you what that made me because I'm
That's
probably
right.
almost 3 times.
That's right. Unbelievable.
Who's Wendy McPherson? Boy, that's a good one. Wendy and I go back many, many years. We've bowled many mixed doubles tournaments together and had a lot of success, actually. They used to have a mixed doubles tournament in California twice a year, and over a 5-year period, we won 6 or 7 times. Always enjoyed bowling with her, so if one of those guys gets a chance to bowl with her, they should.
They should take it.
Oh, my goodness. That would be such a cool team to watch, too. Over to the left, you just saw Chris Vi convert the 3-6-7-10. Farber just left the 4-9 over on 23. You can kind of see it off to the left side of your screen. I was screaming yesterday on a pattern like this, Dave. Nothing would frustrate me more than leaving a 4-9 on this. I just think that's the worst.
Right, because the 4-9 or a solid 9 because your ball's not hooking. It blows my mind how the ball misses the 9 pin when it's going at the 9 pin.
Right. That just fries me. I actually proclaim that if I were to ever bowl this tournament and I were to leave a 4-9, I would want to make sure that everyone was okay with me hitting my head against the ball return as hard as I could multiple times until my ball made it back into the return.
Shooting on down to our other feature pair, 19 and 20. Down here, we have A, Zeke Bate, B, Tom Smallwood, C, Matt Ogle, and D, Chris Corbin. Nice pair. Zeke squeaked in on that roll-off last night, which ended up being a barn burner.
Yeah, it did.
Each player with 1 open, 1 split.
I believe it was 173 to 166.
Mm-hmm.
That's not surprising to me on what was still out there last night. Ricky, I saw that you just said in there that Wendy may still need a partner. She may. I'm actually currently scheduled to bowl the Lucy with Diana Zavilova, but she may want to find a better partner herself, so we'll see.
That's a good question, Dave. Could you clarify the correct pronunciation of her last name?
It's Zavilova.
Zavulova.
Yeah, Zavilova.
Oh, there's a V at the end. Zavulova.
Let me see if I've been saying it right. Diana Zavilova.
Yeah.
So it's not, I go Za,
Yeah.
not Za.
Za.
It's close enough.
Because I've heard it another way being pronounced recently, and I was told I was wrong, and that was the correct pronunciation.
Originally, I thought it was Zavialova.
I think that's the one that people have been using.
Right. I think if anybody can just say it either way. She's happy with it because most people can't even get that.
So it's Zavulova. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm all over that. I can do that all day long. I just got to get rid of the za and the za. I got to switch it to zav, and I'm good. Volova. Perfect. Thanks, Dave, for that clarification.
No problem.
Did she already head back?
No, she's sitting down there watching Erin McCarthy. Erin's actually staying for a couple days to hang out with her, so
cool.
They'll drive back when Erin's done today.
Oh, okay. Oh, there she is. I didn't recognize her. With her hair. She always has a different hairstyle.
Let's look at Aaron Lorenz off to the right side of your screen. A nice shot there of 21, 10 back.
Just so you do know, I'm unavailable for the booth at 1 o'clock.
For the Seattle Seahawks game.
Well, thanks to the great world of technology and internet, I think Mike might be able to get it onto the screen right there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in that case, then I'll stick around and help.
I definitely can have it up here. That's not a problem. We got the front four on 25.
And who is that? That is.
That's Corey Gilbert.
You want to go over there real quick, Matt?
Yeah.
For a quick one quick shot.
Looking
left lane.
Going
Corey
for the
Gilbert.
front five. Pretty
Yeah,
good shot right
yeah,
there.
That was nice.
So it looked like Corey's throwing a track Legion solid.
All right.
Here's Zeke and Matt Ogle.
Zeke's got a lot going on that shirt.
Yeah, that's the one he wore out in Vegas, isn't
Yes, it is.
it? It has words that
Pretty
like
good shot
motivate
right
him
there.
on it. A bunch of words that motivate him.
Yeah.
Number 23, I think, was Michael Jordan.
He also wore that at the holiday doubles during qualifying.
Yeah, he did.
Let's talk about Hammer for a minute. We just came off an event a couple weeks ago that Hammer was a part of, and now Hammer's a part of this. There's a doubles tournament in Arkansas, I believe, that Hammer is going to be a part of that we're going to stream in April.
You guys are streaming that?
Yeah.
That's good to know.
How dedicated to bowling and scratch bowling is Hammer right now?
Well, we made a commitment to be involved in as much as we possibly could. And in my, the tournaments in my area that I take care of getting the sponsorships for, it's just, Hammer's got the name. Hammer's been around for the high-end bowler. So it's made a little more sense for Hammer to be the sponsor of that. Our other brands do some other stuff. We just signed on a week ago. Ebonite brand signed on to sponsor the Kentucky High School Association Championships, which is actually going to be held right here at Collins Bowling Center.
Oh, awesome.
February 11th and 12th. Also
yesterday it was leaked that Collins Bowling Center looks like is going to be having a PWBA stop.
Yeah,
they are. Yes, June, I believe it's June 30th through July 2nd.
Will that be here at this center?
It is. It's at this same center, and they're going to be hosting a pro-am with it, and we just had some initial talks with Jason, and I think we're going to be able to offer a hammer ball during the pro-am as well.
Cool.
Let's look at Tom Smallwood going for the 4-9. He did miss a 2-pin apparently the last shot. And people are very shocked in the chat. We do have a question. What surface prep are most folks using? What do you say, 500 or
500,
lower?
500 seemed to be the number that most people were using. Some of the higher rev rate guys were only using about 1,000. It's hard to really use more than that. It's as tight as the lanes are. If you use too much surface, all you do is make the ball hook too early, and then it makes it even worse down the lane.
Does anybody still use screen? Do you remember the old screen?
Oh, yeah.
They put on the balls?
I haven't seen that in many years.
I used to put a little screen on the ball.
Haven't seen that since the advent of Abralon. Abralon's the the big thing now. Nobody that bowls tournaments goes to a tournament without Abralon pads in their bag.
I remember back in the day, you'd go to the hardware store, you'd go to
You
Lowe's.
just go buy some wet sandpaper.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I used.
I know.
You want to resurface a ball, start with some 120, 230, 340, 600, 1200, 2000. Spend 20 minutes on a ball spinner. You're good to go.
Yeah. Quick update on Corey Gilbert is he now has the front 6. So we can, when he gets ready to bowl again, we can switch back over to the 25 and 26 and take a look.
Got a skin knee, pour some tussin on it. That's what that's kind of like.
You know, I'm just an observation, guys. I'm just looking at this entry blank with the past champions on it. I mean, the names that have won this tournament, you don't think this is a prestigious event? Tommy Jones, Tom Smallwood, Dan McClellan, Jeff Fair, Brad Snell, Brian Wallachek, Chris Collins, Nick Vogelsang, Tony Lambert. These are Ted Hannes. I mean, these are national PBA champions.
Yeah.
This is a really tough tournament to win.
And how about a guy like Himmler, who's been bowling since 1989? He's finished second twice.
Right.
Hasn't been able to get the job done. And you know, there were a lot of good bowlers that went home yesterday.
Yeah. Here's another. Brian Kretzer has won this event. George Pappas has won this event.
Wow.
Pretty crazy. Just an observation. That list happened to be sitting here in front of me, and I started looking at it.
That's back-to-back 4.9s for Jason Sterner.
That's just horrible break.
Yeah, that's where, like I said, if that happened to me, I would be hitting you'd see it right now on the live broadcast. I would be on the ground hitting my head into the ball return. I just think that's the worst. I'm going to predict right now, though, we have not seen a 4.9 converted on our live stream in a while.
He was close the last time he went after it.
I was just thinking the same thing. I'm gonna agree with you. I think he's gonna make this one.
There was.
If you want to send $9.95 in a self-addressed stamped envelope, we will give you Powerball winning numbers for Wednesday.
And no, Steve Harvey won't be drawing the numbers.
There, Dave. I'll let you do that. We've got a professional in the booth.
We've got a score update. Your leader after the first game is Brandon Hott with a score of +80. Aaron Lorenz second at +57. Brandon Novak third at +56. Terrence Bright fourth at +53. Brian Robinson, somebody asked in the chat earlier about Brian Robinson. He had 191 the first game. He's currently in 5th place at +44. Jason Sterner, who we just saw make the 4.9, is +42 in 6th. At 7th place is Andy Campbell. Do you guys know much about Andy Campbell?
I don't.
He's a young man from the Kentucky side of Cincinnati and still in high school. He's actually two-hander. Really, really impressive. He wins a lot of stuff. He's in 7th right now at +21, and Tom Smallwood in 8th at +20. So right now your cut is +20. Just outside the cut, E.J. Tackett at +10, Joshua Berry +7, Matt Ogle at +3, Ari Wilson at even, and that's 12th place. So we only have 12 people currently plus.
And you're going to look at Ari Wilson left the 4.9 on 27. Just to the right side of your screen, he's wearing that Blackhawks jersey. Gets the good count, moves on.
If you want to see that information yourself, you can head over to InsideBowling.com, click on the Event Information tab, and you'll be able to see all of that.
I can't tell if Matt Ogle gets struck in the first or not.
Is that him with the strikes for the 2nd through the 5th?
Yeah. I can't see that far on the lower
He had a big game to start, too. He had 238 the first game to start.
He started kind of low, so that would be
yeah, he's currently in 11th. at +3.
So he made a big jump.
But of course, you did just put the black cloud on him as he 5-count washout.
I didn't watch him. I just talked about him. I guess I can't even do that these days. Jason Sterner missed right off his hand. He's not giving away the pocket. He's just too far right with his targets.
You know what we need to hire on the staff at Inside Bowling?
The statistician?
A doctor.
A doctor?
Yeah, I'm tired of having
a mental doctor.
Tired of having the sniffles.
A psychologist. We have a job opening here at InsideBowling.com. We're looking for a psychologist, doctor. Must have a master's and doctorate, plus 20 years experience. We will pay $25,000 a year. I don't think we get anybody.
Sterner's having a rough go of it this game. Did just make that spare, but he is only currently pacing at 180 this game.
Lawyer.
Got to look at Matt Farber there, just out of the corner of your screen. Makes a great shot.
Yeah.
Got off to a rough start this game, only 75 in the 5th, but that is a double in the 6th and 7th for Matt now. And there you just got to look at Andy Campbell that we just talked about with the washout. And he's having a really rough game this game.
We talked to Andy yesterday, actually.
He's a super nice kid, really is.
Yeah, we actually called him a liar on the air.
Nice. Way to go.
Not really, but the people in the chat accused us of doing that.
Yeah, that was funny.
Of course, he's a great kid. Certainly not a liar. We just couldn't believe how he's only been bowling for 2 years.
Right.
Standings are updated on all social media now, if you want to go check that out. It is out there for you to see.
So J.R. Raymond with a big jump that game.
Yeah, I was just going to look at that.
He jumped from 22 to, where did he go, 14?
Yep.
Brett Shepard.
Right. It was Matt Ogle, J.R. Raymond, and Brett Shepard were the 3 biggest jumps the first game.
Ben Pallardy, one of my creepers, sleeper picks, jumped 10 spots up. Zeke Bate jumped a few spots up. Aaron McCarthy jumped a few spots.
Trying to get a look at what Aaron's got going this game. And not a whole lot. She's actually missed a 1-pin spare in the 7th, shooting a 10-pin in the 8th, pacing at 184 right now this game.
In the top 8, the only movers looks like E.J. Tech had dropped out and Tom Smallwood creeped in. Brian Robinson dropped a few spots from 2nd to 5th. Aaron Lorenz moved up. Brandon Hott was in 8th going in and is now your tournament leader.
250 will definitely do that for you.
Definitely.
And JR is actually going to shoot about 178 this game. He's finishing up down there. He's shooting the Greek Church on his fill ball, so if he gets 3 of them, he's going to have 178 this game. Not a great follow-up to the good start. Scores are considerably lower this game again
they were, yeah.
after moving pairs now.
Yep, definitely. You almost have to get lucky on that first shot
Yeah.
to get 10 back. To have the opportunity at having a string to start.
Right. And EJ's pacing on 204 right now this game. Looks like Tom Doherty had 179 on the same pair. JR had 178. I just saw Chris Vi out of the corner of your screen there with a really nice strike. He has 143 in the 7th and a strike in the 8th, so he can still shoot 233. I'll try to keep giving my Chris Vi updates for his dad, who is watching. Appreciate you watching this morning.
We had another big mover, Josh Berry. Jumped from 23rd up to 10th. Only 13 pins out of the top 8. His dad's in the chat as well.
I can promise you my dad's not in the chat. Get a look at Steve Novak here. And just a little bit light and rolls the 2-pin. So gives himself a chance to shoot 214.
Looks like Jason can strike out for 199. Jason Sterner here.
Oh, man, that's my fault. I just came back. Oh, boy, Sterner. He's throwing it so good. He's just a flicker off. Just a flicker off.
Mike, where do people go to get into your chat room? Where is that?
Sure. The way we're set up now, YouTube does not allow you to embed the chat onto an external website. So if you go to InsideBowling.com, and when you get there, you click on the top of the screen to the live streaming in progress. That takes you to the Bradley Open page, and you'll see and you'll be able to view what we have, but there's no chat. So that's why the question's coming in. But you do get some information down below. The event information tabs show you all the standings. So it's important to have that open in your browser. In a secondary screen or an extra tab in your browser, what you should do is you can do one of two things. If you're watching on InsideBowling.com, in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, you'll see a YouTube icon once you're watching the video feed. If you click on that, that takes you directly over to YouTube, and then the chat appears. Or if you want to circumvent everything I just said, you can go to youtube.com/InsideBowling, and that'll take you right over to where you need to go so that you can chat.
You can also just search for Inside Bowling if you're at the homepage of YouTube, and click on the channel link once the search is complete.
Great. Thanks for that info. Now everybody that's listening, go on and get in that chat room.
Yeah, let's get some participation today.
Yeah, Dave, it's actually got quite advanced nowadays. It actually shows you how many viewers you have at what times. It's pretty cool. Shows you a lot of good information. And we do appreciate everybody being in the chat. You know, we try to be very interactive. We try to make sure that we do what we can to try to help you out. We know that when there's 130-something bowlers in here and we've only got so many cameras and that, we wish we could cover everybody. And we feel bad sometimes that we're not able to get to everybody, and we apologize if we don't. We just try to tell the story as it unfolds as best as we can. And I did have one guy at one event kind of complain a little bit, you know, hey, I wish you'd have been able to cover me a little bit more. And And we always feel bad for that. But there is one guaranteed way that you're going to get covered. Bowl good.
That is true.
If you bowl good, we will not miss you. And that's no slam on anybody's bowling ability or anything like that. That is just the truth.
That is very much the truth.
And you can ask Matt, the one thing that absolutely kills me is when we miss a story.
Yeah.
I hate it when we miss something that we wish we could have gotten to. A perfect example is one of the worst instances happened yesterday.
Yeah.
Brandon Novak bowls 300, 14, 16 lanes away from us.
Nobody clapped.
Nobody was
Nobody came up
clapping
to
on a
get us.
string,
Yeah.
and we were in the middle of an interview at the time here in the booth, and we missed it. We completely missed it. And that's where, if we could bring more people, at the IB events that we've been running, I've put one person or sometimes two people in charge of social media during the event. And that person's running around, and if something's developing, they're capturing it with their phone and putting it on our social outlets. And then they text us in the booth and let us know of something extraordinary happening, and we can get down there with the wireless camera.
Well, I will tell you this. I don't know who it was, but somebody actually just had the front nine over there and 8-1 in the 10th for 266.
Ouch.
I don't know who that was.
Well,
It was on the pair with. Hold on, I can tell you who that is.
You want to do?
No, I got it.
Oh.
Give me a second. I can tell you exactly who that was. 27B. That was lefty Rick Hale, hammer staffer. Rick Hale from Wilmington, Ohio.
Tried all weekend. Got me to -70.
So 266 by Rick Hale, who was at 56 under. He's going to be 10 over. He's going to be right around the cut line now. And my periodic Chris Vi update for you, he is going to shoot 222 this
Nice
game.
game for Chris. You just saw Matt Ogle strike it up in the first ball of the 10th. He can strike out for 221. It's not too shabby of a game. Zeke, on the other hand, strikes out for 162.
192.
Oh, it's the ninth. You're right. I just assumed that strike was in the first ball of the 10th because I didn't pay attention.
And he did not. He left the 6-9-10.
If he bowls 162, Matt,
He's not bowling 162.
he would have to gutter on
Yeah,
the
he
last
would have to
ball.
make the spare and then throw it in the gutter. He's not bowling 162.
Or foul. If that happens, then seriously, send $9.95. Self-addressed stamped envelope. P.O. Box.
Greg just asked about Tom Doherty. Tom Doherty had 179 game 2.
Doherty's made the round of 4 the last 2 years at this event.
So Matt Ogle is going to strike here for, what was it? There's 221.
Yep.
He jumped from 31st to 11th with a 238 game.
And then now 220 this game. He'll be up into the cut now.
Isn't this his neck of the woods?
He's from Louisville.
How far a drive is that, an hour?
It's about an hour, yeah. Actually, I get yelled at if I don't say it right. Louisville.
Louisville.
I can't figure out how to say it right.
Louisville.
All right, I've heard you guys say it, I don't know how many times. I got a way that I say it, but I can't spit it out. Because I used to say Louisville all the time. It's Louisville.
There it is. That's it. That's
Louisville.
what they say down there.
Louisville.
What you need to do is you need to get as many mashed potatoes in your mouth as possible, and then say Louisville. Louisville. I think that's how I got through it.
Lull. 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 Vull. Louisville.
Keep going. Didn't get that address down. Wow, Brandon Novak bringing us a brand new bowling ball here in the booth.
Yeah, I had to swap that out for him.
And you deliver too, Dave, huh?
I try.
You're like Jimmy John's, freaky fast. And then I'm just going to stop there. I'm not going to take it anywhere else. I'm done. It's too early for this.
Wow. Every time I sit in this booth, I wonder what I'm getting myself into.
Well, the good news is for those of you that don't like our commentary, during game number 3, we are just going to let you listen to pinfall.
Well, that sure sounds exciting.
Wow. That's great. That's fantastic.
We're going to mute our mics, and we're going to continue the broadcast as if we were here on the air, but we're just going to do it on our own because we're selfish like that sometimes and don't want to share our thoughts with everyone else. Actually, that's Matt's biggest pet peeve. He enjoys when we.
It is.
When he hates like 5 seconds of silence.
Yeah,
it kills him.
It kills me, especially like last night we were fried out.
And there were stretches of 8 or 9 seconds where we didn't say something.
It seemed a lot longer than that. It seemed at least 15 seconds, 20 seconds. I couldn't stand it. I really can't do it.
Reminds me of Days of Thunder when Cole Trickle goes in for the CAT scan. And he says, will somebody please just talk to me? When I'm in the car, there's a guy. I can't see him, but I can hear him. That's one of my favorite movies.
So there you have it, Game 2 in the books here at the 2016 Bradley Open.
We'll get you a Game 2 update as quickly as we get one.
I want to thank Jason and his team for getting us all the updates and helping us out with getting everything out. This is the first time for them logging into the back end of our website, and they've done a great job this weekend. Really appreciate that. Great opportunity before we do go into game number 3 to mention some of the other sponsors that we have here that help provide this great coverage here and great event here in Lexington, Kentucky. This year's 2016 Bradley Open is also brought to you by Brooks Electric, providing electrical services for the entire Lexington area, including the Collins Bowling Centers. And also by Classic Products, a great distributor to bowling pro shops all throughout the United States. Make sure you check out Classic Products. And also EPC, Early Wine Painting. Give Greg a call at 859-621-8329 for your painting needs in Lexington. And by the Hampton Inn, our host hotel. Thank you, the Hampton Inn, for your great rates for the bowlers. By MSBS, the Midwest Scratch Bowling Series. Brian Reagan and his team. Make sure you check out and bowl one of his events. And last but not least, the United American Supply, providing paper products for all businesses in Lexington, Kentucky, including this bowling center right here. Game number 3, back with you, Mike and Matt. Dave Wodka on assignment for just a moment as we bring you continuing coverage of this 2016 Bradley Open. Co-title sponsored by Hammer Bowling Products and New Center Consulting. Nice pace of play this morning, 4 to a pair. 40 bowlers are trying to get into the top 8 for an top 8 bracket. We'll reset our cameras at that point in time, and we'll bring you the best 2 out of 3 matches. And we thank you for watching. Tell your friends out on social media and make sure you interact in our chat.
Yeah, go ahead and share our post on Facebook and retweet us on Twitter. Let's try and get as many viewers as we can.
Standings are also available on scratchbowling.com. We did fail to mention that. You can check it out on scratchbowling.com.
So here on our featured pair 19 and 20, we have A, Brandon Flora, B, Jimmy Cook, C, Justin Billings, and D, Brett Shepard. And there you get a look at Brett. Just put 10 back into the pit. And here's our first look at Justin Billings on the left lane. Just a few minutes on our right-handed committed pair, as Ricky corrected me already once. On 25 and 6, we're going to have Charles Eaton, Jeff Fair, Brandon Novak, and Aaron Lawrence. So we'll definitely want to check that pair out. Joined again by Dave Wodka.
Sorry about that. Had to.
Did we lose something?
What happened?
I think something.
We've got a severe thunderstorm warning here in the booth.
Oh, I can't reach anything.
Oh, that's no big deal. You don't need that.
Right.
We don't have them.
Back the
Yeah, we don't have them.
Just throw it away.
That's why we don't
It's
have
windy
them.
in
They
here.
fall off that easy. That one actually set a record for being on the
windy.
longest.
Am I back now?
Yeah, you're back.
No?
No, you're here.
Huh.
Yeah, you're here.
Yeah, you're probably something's going on over here.
Okay.
Maybe. You want to really be back? Now you're
Oh,
really
gee.
back.
Okay. No, we're good.
This is your volume right here, Dave. You can move it up or
Gotcha.
down right there.
Okay.
Now that we're all at the dinner table with our plates full of what we need and we've got our salt and our pepper and everything good to go, we're back with you. Game number 3. We're watching lanes 19 and 20, as Matt alluded to.
Who was that? Is that Brett Shepard?
Yeah.
Jimmy
it's
Cook.
Brett Shepard.
Jimmy Cook.
Yeah, Justin Billings and Brandon Flora. Jimmy with the 5-7. We've seen quite a bit of those this weekend. Not as many as we've seen in 4-9s. 4-9 is definitely the split of the weekend.
You'd think I had stock in 4-9 as much as I've been talking about it.
Brett Shepard with 10 more back.
Be curious to see what he bowled game 2 after the 2:30 start game 1.
Do you think we took a picture earlier of Aaron McCarthy and E.J. Tackett side by side, how they look like brother and sister? Do you think Aaron Lawrence and Brandon Novak side by side could pass as brothers?
Probably.
I'll have to get a picture of that too, Mike.
I might do that. Maybe we'll put Smallwood and Doherty together as brothers. Speaking of brothers, Brian Walchuk bowling in this field today. His brother Lonnie is on television today.
Yes, he is. Bowling for the PBA Scorpion Championship.
Yeah, just turn on ESPN at noon.
And that'll be over just in time for the Seahawks game at 1.
Yeah, and our top 8 here. You can listen to the PBA commentators and mute us if you want, but we're much better than Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. So you can mute them and listen to us as we bring you the finals.
Great.
Actually, I really like Joe Buck. That was actually not so nice.
I'm sure he's listening.
Well, of course he is. He's a huge Inside Bowling fan.
Guys, we got a Game 2 update here. Still your leader, shooting 211. Game 2 is Brandon Hott with a score of 91 over now. We have a tie for second and third with Brandon Novak and Terrence Bright at plus 44. Brian Robinson moved back up a spot, shooting 195. He's up to fourth at plus 39. Corey Gilbert, who we saw on our live stream start with the front six last game for 233, is at plus 32. Aaron Lorenz at plus 27. Matt Ogle now jumps into the top 8. He's at plus 24.
Nice.
And 8th place is EJ Tackett at plus 22. Just outside the top 8, Rick Hale with that big 266 is at plus 10 and 9th.
He jumped a lot.
Chris Vai is in 10th at plus 9. Jason Sterner in 11th at plus 4. And Joshua Berry in 12th at plus 3. And those are all the people we have that are plus at the moment.
Nice job, Dave. Nice job with that. Jeff Fair starts with the first 3 over on 25 and 26. I think this would be a good opportunity to hop over there and take a look at Brandon Novak, last year's champion, and give him a little bit of love, as Matt has done. Brandon Novak getting ready to bowl on lane 25. And I coined the phrase that he's a modern-day Mark Williams, if you remember him bowling on the tour. He's got a very unorthodox arm swing, and you'll get a chance to look at it here if you've never seen Brandon bowl. Brandon did bowl 300 yesterday. If you weren't with us yesterday or early this morning, he received $1,000.
Thanks to early wine painting.
Not a great shot there. Got away with just leaving the 2-pin.
He actually bowled a 300 with that ball. And that's the Columbia Raw Urge.
Yeah, that ball got a lot of play yesterday as well.
This just dawned on me, but I was kind of just had something pop into my head randomly. I think when the three of us are in the booth together, I think I want to start playing a theme song when we all get together.
Okay.
The theme song from Good Times.
Yeah, and how does that go, Mike?
Are we going to get some singing
Yeah,
now?
for all the folks at home.
I actually don't know it that well. I really don't. But that just kind of reminds me of this field this morning that I have sitting next to you two.
Well, I'm honored.
Let's see.
Jeff Fair there, we got to look at him. Coming off of a really solid week at Team USA Trials where he was in the top 5 for the first 4 days and unfortunately had a little bit of struggles the last day and dropped out. But
he was the leader after 3 also.
Yeah,
Dave.
still a very good week for Jeff.
He's another overlooked player in the United States.
Yeah, he just, he doesn't bowl everything, but when he does bowl, he's always at the top.
St. Louis, they're talking in the chat about how it's impressive that 195 moves you up in a tournament. Ricky says, I'm from St. Louis, 195 put you in dead last. That's a very accurate statement.
And we're going to get a look at Charles Easton here, young player from Toledo area.
I gave him a little love
4
yesterday. I remember you sending me some pictures about 3 or 4 months ago of Charles bowling extremely well in an event. I remember the ball was a salute, I believe.
That was actually at Bo Gergen's tournament, the Northern Open. Charles averaged about 260 for one of the qualifying rounds there.
Guy can strike. If you look over to your left, you're going to see Tom Smallwood.
He's in tripping the 4 out.
Smalls is such a nice guy.
Yes, he is. I'm actually really excited to have him on the team on the Philly Hitmen this year for the PBA League. He was our one new addition for the year. Looking forward to that again up in Portland, Maine at the end of March.
Yeah, we petitioned the PBA to see if we couldn't get a team in there, the Inside Bowling franchise. I think it's still being reviewed.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They haven't come to a decision yet on that?
No, we wanted to bring our own team. You know, we wanted to stack it, of course. Turek, myself, Burkhart, Kim, Ashley.
Scary team.
Jeff Reed. And we were going to be managed by Dennis Hacker.
Oh, man, that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. And our sponsor was going to be Ricky Matsko. He was going to
Just
float
Ricky.
the whole bill.
Thanks, Rick.
We would have been team beef. I'm glad the PBA League stuck around for a little while, you know. I think one thing that's important in today's bowling is that you have to have consistency and you got to stick with things. And the PBA League has gone on for a few years now.
It caught a little flack at the beginning.
But the Elias Cup, you know, there's been 3 champions. The real question is Mark Baker going to win for the 3rd year in a row with a completely different team 3 years in a row? You know, he took Dick Allen last year, and everybody was scratching their heads. And Dick Allen was the one that threw it for the wheat to win it for him. Tom Doherty held him up in the air right there on the approach, and they win up in Portland, Maine. And then, you know, this year, Mark Baker shocks the world and takes Matt McNeil and Justin Vincent, 2 left-handers. You know, in the 2 rounds of the draft.
Yeah,
so.
let's see how that plays out.
The look on McNeil's face when he got drafted, he couldn't believe it.
Really?
Yeah, he was.
Were you there for that?
No, I watched it on Extra Frame.
Yeah.
And if you're not a subscriber to Extra Frame, you should definitely get the service. We promote Extra Frame as much as we can, online bowling. Make sure you subscribe to the PBA's online bowling channel, Extra Frame. They've got XF1 and XF2 now. I actually kid Jeff Goodger. We've got an inside joke about XF3. XF3 is the behind the scenes that nobody gets to see. Also, got to give a shout out to our friends over at Bowl TV as well. Lucas Wiseman moving on to take a job in the Indianapolis market, so he could be with his wife, Danielle. Lucas has spent so many hours streaming bowling tournaments on Bowl TV. Bowl TV used to be on Ustream, and he's made the conversion over to YouTube. We're now on YouTube, and Lucas is definitely going to be missed. And wish all the luck in the world and all the best to Aaron Smith and Matt Cantanzaro and Jason Thomas, who are assuming those duties for now.
Shoot on over to 19 and 20 for a little while here. Jimmy Cook getting ready to bowl on the right lane. Justin Billings there. Even the 1, 3, 6. Just over halfway through game number 3. Well, halfway through the cashier's round.
That we are. Halfway home, buddy.
We're getting there.
And then we'll reset these cameras and get ready for covering
Top
eight bowlers at one time. Yeah. And I think we were really smart with how we structured this, Matt. So we're going to have 27 through 30, which means that only one pair will be bowling at a time. You know, because if they were spaced out more, they could possibly be on the approach at the same time, which we couldn't bring that to the viewers. A nice presentation. And then we have 19 and 20 and 21 and 22. So we're going to talk to tournament director Jason, and we're gonna advise the players for the streaming purposes that we're going to treat this as if they're 2 pairs. So pair, 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 back and forth, so that we can capture all the action and switch back and forth and bring you just about every shot.
Okay.
And I think the guys will, and girls, possibly a girl, I believe that they will be on board with that.
We're going to pot him down. Jacob Rogers, you have been suspended indefinitely. Here on Inside Bowling. You can no longer chat with us ever. We cut the cord to your internet.
Did you delete the comment too?
Yeah, but it only, I don't know, I'm not fully understanding the whole chat because it doesn't actually go away. It went away on mine.
Yeah.
But not on yours.
Yeah.
Hey, Greg, what you got for me?
That's so funny. It's unbelievable.
Ricky, double ban. Glad you're still with us, Greg.
All right, how about 25 and 6?
Yeah,
Take it back
let's
down.
shoot on down.
Jeff Fair up on the approach.
Bowled really well out at team trials.
And he's been bowling really good here. He's a past champion. I believe it was 2009. I think I about got this memorized.
Yeah, you sure do. Jeff Fair, 2009.
Take a moment once again to talk about the Bradley. It's in memory of James D. Bradley. James passed away in 1984. He was one of the founders of the Lexington Area Bowling Association in 1940. He served as the secretary-treasurer of the Lexington Area Bowling Association from 1945 until his retirement in 1980. Unfortunately, he passed away just 4 years later. Done a lot for the Kentucky State Bowling Association, and he also wrote a column in the Lexington Herald called Kegler's Corner. He did that for 38 years, Matt.
It's a long time.
And that's why this tournament is named after James D. Bradley. Bet you didn't know that.
I did not. I'm glad you told me, because now I know. And knowledge is power.
Maybe one day there'll be a tournament named after you, Matt, for all of your
Many years
internet broadcasting.
in the broadcast industry.
Call that the Turek, where the tournament director, when he announces all the names of the bowlers, would do his best job to say them wrong in honor of you.
I just realized where you're going with that. Thanks, Mike.
You're welcome, Matt.
That's funny.
And maybe they could also announce the wrong bowlers in the wrong order.
Or confuse bowlers.
That's what I mean.
That's funny.
Ricky, I'm with you there, buddy. Continuing on. Just about done with game number 3. 2 to go. 2 to play.
The Turek Classic brought to you by Tanqueray. There's Aaron Lawrence. Lawrence.
Playing the fallback.
Yeah, didn't work out too well for him.
But you know what? On a bad shot like that, clearly left the target. Avoids a split. You know, the other thing, too, sometimes that I don't think people understand is there's this thing that a bowler can do, which is called chicken winging the ball.
Yeah.
That's when their right elbow gets out away from their body, which creates your point of release is further to the right than on a well-performed shot, a perfectly executed shot. So when that happens, oftentimes it's difficult to keep your angles the same. So you usually, when you chicken wing the ball, you set the ball down further to the right than you plan to, but your eyes are still the same, so you're throwing it to the same target that you were looking at when you were setting the ball down closer to your ankle. So when that happens, every time you go high.
Yeah. It's like tugging the ball.
However, on a house condition, when there's a ton of oil piled up in the middle and the center part of the lane, many league bowlers can get in a bad habit of chicken winging the ball because they don't realize they did it because their ball still held pocket. And that's the difference between bowling on a house condition and a flat condition like we're bowling on here today.
I'm hungry. I wonder if they have chicken wings over in the snack bar.
Gordon Fisherman.
Yeah.
All right, Patrick's got some physics to share with me.
Yeah, it's basic trigonometry. Let's get out our protractors.
And a compass.
And a compass. And we'll let's check these angles.
Hold on a second. I gotta get out my Trapper Keeper.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Yeah.
It's got the
the cats on it.
No, the
You got
Lamborghini on the front. Lamborghini on the front of that one. There it is.
Got some Velcro. I gotta open it up with the Velcro.
We've got the chicken wing authority here, Patrick Bateman. He says, does anybody know where the term chicken winging originated?
Buffalo.
That would make sense. Buffalo.
The 5-star keeper.
Well played. Well played.
Charles Eaton, what ball did he throw to? I don't know. I can't see that far.
Charles, what ball did you switch to? Meltdown. He switched to a meltdown. Thank you.
That's what I love about it. You see that pop up in the chat, you just take your headphones off and yell at the guy. He's in the middle of a conversation explaining.
Oh, he was. He was.
Patrick, I don't really feel like Googling it. Do you think you could just type or cut and paste the history of the chicken wing into the chat for us all, please? That would be great.
Would be nice.
It's probably what his thesis paper was written on.
I like how
his postdoctorate.
I will tell you something about Brandon Novak's ball reaction. His ball, when it hits the pins, it just sends them left to right. And I'll tell you what, he bowls good on twister pins because Beaverview Bowl, at least they used to, in Ohio where the Proprietors Cup is. Brandon's bowled good there. And Brandon, they have twister pins there. And there's twister pins here today, and he won this tournament last year. But I think the twisters are new this year here. Let's get a look at his shot. Watch this ball hit. See that?
Yeah, it really kicked the head pin right off that left
Yeah,
wall.
Yeah. Shakes him up.
Yeah, Feeding Frenzy, actually, they are already in the money. Every bowler you see out here will take home a check. They're just vying for position, trying to get to the top 8 to move on to the next round and figure out how much money they're going to take home.
I don't know if the tournament team is mic'd up or listening in on our broadcast today. I think they are. And I haven't checked this officially, but be nice if we could get a prize list underneath the event information tabs, maybe within the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. See if we can make that happen. We'll have a game update after game number 3 here as soon as it's completed. Just take a few seconds, and they are getting them turned around pretty quick today. Nice job, the tournament staff.
Scores are a little higher here on our feature pair, 25 and 6.
They certainly are. It's been a high-scoring pair, actually, Matt.
Yeah.
Yesterday, when 6 bowlers came over here, I said, I think they'll bowl no worse than minus 20, and they bowled minus 10 as a group of 6, that was pretty huge. Aaron Lawrence can still bowl 202.
Brandon Novak with a 226. Charles Easton with a 193. That's respectable.
Nice shot by Lawrence. Really nice shot by Aaron. Not sure if his mom's watching today or not, but hello, Mom, if you are. She watches all of our webcasts. I want to give a shout out to her. Thanks for the love on Twitter. Just catching up on that right now.
Aaron can get 2 more X's for 202. Last shot was really good. Another one just like it.
Guys, I was just out walking around. I don't know if you guys saw, but Brian Wallachek had the front 9 that game.
Oh.
And he did open in the 10th, but did shoot 264. So that should jump him back in there a little bit.
Looks like Brian coming into that game was in 30th position, 62 under, so that gets him to about even.
+2, yeah, that'll get him to +2.
That would have been good for 13th position going into this game. And the number pretty much about stays the same. It's going up at a snail pace. A couple of pins a game, maybe.
Yep, and you know when the scores are this low too, you always have that possibility where the number could go down 10 or 15 pins one game. You get 3 guys bowl 180 and the number goes down 15 pins.
Yeah, last night it was minus 37 going into game 5, and it ended at minus 53.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. It's easy to bowl 180 on this. That's for sure.
Congratulations to lanes 25 and 26. Just bowled a nice group game there. 193, 203, 226, and 202.
You're not going to find too many games where the pair bowls plus.
They were 24 over as a group. It's a 206 average. That's right. Just did that.
Math.
New math.
Jinx.
Oh, the new math. Don't get me started on
I don't want to.
that makes no sense at all.
What is that? Is that the
Common
Core?
Core.
Yeah. That's the most confusing thing I've ever seen.
There's some really funny pictures or memes out there of like a house that's like crooked and the roof only covers half of it. And they're like the first house built with Common Core math.
It makes me want to pull a Chumbawamba and do some tub thumping.
Okay.
Whoever came up with that. Yeah, and I would get knocked down, and I would get up again. You're not ever going to keep me down. No way.
So glad I got back into the booth.
No way, Josie. No way, Josie.
Yeah, 19 and 20 here is a lower scoring pair. It's been that way all weekend.
Got a little bit of a rough game here on 23 and 4 too. Matt Ogle with 151.
Ouch.
Yeah, and all Oaks has been bowling good today coming into that game.
I'm going to go on a quick assignment, guys. I'll be right back. Maybe I'll wait.
Yeah, I was just going to say, he does this to see if I'm on my game to switch the graphic to game 4.
I just want to yell at him when I come back as he yells at me.
I'm going to leave right when I need to change a graphic.
Right when I need to do the only thing I'm here to do.
Yeah, the only thing, yeah. That's right.
This pair here, 23 and 4, Tom Smallwood has to strike out in the 10th for 160.
So, yeah, scores here on 19 and 20 were a little bit lower again. Ben Pallardy moved on down to the high end, and I don't know what he had, but he's one of my watchers. So.
Oh, he is one of your watchers, huh? Well, hey, the 2016 Bradley Open couldn't happen without great sponsors. Of course, we've got our co-title sponsors, Hammer Bowling and New Center Consulting, but also other folks coming on board this year to help. Today's tournament is brought to you by Brooks Electric, providing electricity needs for the greater Lexington area. Also by Classic Products, providing bowling equipment, parts, you name it, for pro shops and bowling centers all throughout the country. Make sure you check out Classic Products. And also by Greg Earlywine at Earlywine Painting Contractors. Awarded $1,000 yesterday to Brandon Novak for the first 300 of the tournament. Our host hotel, the Hampton Inn. Thank you for the special rate for all the bowlers this weekend. And also by the MSBS, the Midwest Scratch Bowling Series. Brian Reagan and his group up in Michigan. And last but not least, United American Supply, providing paper products all throughout the Lexington area. Thank you to our sponsors as we roll on with game number 4.
Here on 19 and 20, we see A, Tom Daugherty, B, Rick Hale, C, J.R. Raymond, one of my other sleepers, and D, Terrence Bright.
You got watchers and sleepers out there.
Watchers and sleepers. Well, that's what I meant to say first, and then you make fun of me.
How do you get classified as a watcher or a sleeper? What is the
What's
difference?
Isn't a watcher is from the watcher is from a movie.
Okay.
And it's a very positive thing.
So as he continues to explain this more and more, we continue to get more and more lost in the black hole.
We just lost 50 viewers.
Yeah,
as well.
I mean, how did we all just get banished to the black hole? That's what I want to know. Wow, I just watched Farber pick the 2-4-8-10 down on 32.
That's pretty impressive on this.
Yeah, to start the game.
Yeah.
Wow.
Way down there on 32.
Scores, I'll be curious to see this 3-game update because scores were really, really low that game from what I could see.
I think Novak's 224 he's gonna make it rain with that score.
And Brian Wallachek had 260, but other than that, there was some very low scores that game. There's a 3-pair stretch here from 21 to 26 where there were no 200 games.
Ouch.
Who was it that sang 2 Tickets to Paradise?
2 tickets to paradise.
Eddie Money?
Won't you
I think it is
pack
Eddie.
your
That's what I was
bags
going
with
to
me
say.
tonight.
Well, Brian Wallachek says, I'm going to take 260 to Paradise today if I keep doing that. Got my 10 G's to take me to any trip I want to go on, pretty much. I'd like to see Wally win, too. He's kind of had to live under his brother's shadow a little bit. 2 completely different guys.
Yeah, they really couldn't be more opposite.
I know.
Both great guys, just
Absolutely.
couldn't be more opposite, really.
The way they bowl, the way they look, the things they like. Yeah. Capital A-G-R-E-E-D on that one, Dave. Matt Turek here in the booth with us, taking us to the black hole. Dave
And beyond.
Wodka as well here, and I'm Mike here with you as well. Thanks for watching today.
The most unenthusiastic introduction I think I've ever heard. I'm Mike.
I am.
Matt's taking us to the black hole. We'll see you on the other side.
And Wodka's the only one that brings any professionalism to the booth.
That's a scary thought.
Yeah, I know.
Where are we at here? 19 and 20. We're getting a look at.
Oh,
Who was that?
Tom D, Rick Hale, J.R. Raymond, and Terrence
That was
Bright.
Terrence. Okay. I do know that Doherty and JR both bowled 190 games last game.
I know we're going to have a real good tree. Let's shoot on over there right now. We'll get a look at Cameron Doyle. Cameron Doyle's letter D on 25 and 6. Also bowling on this pair, A is Jeff White, B, Ricky Fuller, C, Chris Priode.
Priode?
Yeah, Priode.
Geode.
That's how I would say it, Priode.
Are we going to have to send somebody on assignment to find out how to say it properly? Flanagan, you did a good job on that one name yesterday. You actually had it right.
I was close. Yeah,
It was pretty close.
Yeah, I didn't pronounce the G the first time around.
And here's our first look at Cam, coming off of a second place finish in the National Amateur Championship, as well as another spot on Team USA.
Ricky, shh. I don't want them to take away my second job here. The only other thing I have to do. I did email Mike the lineups, but he's busy making football picks.
Not yet.
We're not going back to that gambling problem again, are we?
Games don't start till 1. I don't even. They haven't even announced the injuries yet, or who's going to play or not start or anything like that. Now is the worst time to handicap the thing. We want to start handicapping right when we need to call good action. Then I'll just totally leave for
45 minutes.
No, like 8 or 9 seconds at a time, and Matt will be like, "Dude, on the way home, this dead air we have is really bad. I really just wish we'd do a better job with that." Then I'll follow it up with something like, "Yeah, I know, and we really got to figure out how to say these people's names." And then he'll fire back at me, and then the next thing you know, what usually happens is we move all the cargo from the back seat
I was just gonna say
and
that.
put it in the passenger seat,
and I'm
he
gonna
sits
sit
in the back. Yeah. And then we take our backdrop that we normally have with
put it
us,
up
and
in
we
between.
Put that up in between.
The one that you forgot?
Yeah, we actually have the material. We just don't have the the plastic pop-up.
The framework.
Yes, the framework. Good scoring system too.
I get it now.
To end for today's random thought.
Right. Welcome to the Inside Bowling Comedy Club.
Random Thoughts by Mike Flanagan.
So we have standings after Game 8.
All right, let's take a look. Still your leader at shooting 180, Game 8, but still your leader at plus 71 is Brandon Hott. In second at plus 70 is Brandon Novak. Apparently you have to be named Brandon this week.
Yeah.
Third at plus 29, Aaron Lorenz. And tied, third and fourth actually, with Terrence Bright at plus 29. Tied for fifth and sixth at plus 23 is E.J. Tackett and Rick Hale. And seventh, Brian Robinson, also at plus 23.
Wow, bunched up.
Then your cut score at the moment, plus 17, is Corey Gilbert. And we only have 2 more people plus now. We're down to only 10 people plus. Ninth is Joshua Berry at plus 4. 10th, Brian Wallachek at plus 2. And then we've got about 4 more people within 10 pins of that. We've got Brian Dennis, Jason Sterner, Chris Vi and Ari Wilson all within 10 pins of that. So we're still bunched up, and, again, like we talked about, when the scores are this low, you never know what can happen. Matt Ogle dropped all the way down to 16th that game.
Wow.
With his 151. And Brian Wallachek all the way up to 10th with that 264. So lots of moving around again that game. And really, third place is only plus 29. So really only the first two guys are really safe right now, I think.
What was the spread between third and eighth?
Between third and eighth is only 12 pins.
Wow.
And between third and 10th is only 29 pins. So lots going on here still. And then again, 4 more guys, only 10 more pins back from that. So we've got third to 14th is only 40 pins right now.
So it's really coming down to the wires. 2 games to go before they cut to the top 8.
Yeah, and now's, we start looking around, and if you see anybody that's got a 4 or 5 bagger, that's a big jump right now, no matter where they are in the standings, really.
Right. It's a good game. Started out on lane 29 or 30. Aaron Lawrence is D, so that means that was Brandon Novak.
Is that
should be Brandon Novak?
C?
Yeah.
Yeah, Brandon Novak with spare triple.
Yeah.
And Brandon Hott. Brandon Hott has strike spare double to start this game as well. He's bowling on the pair with Aaron McCarthy.
Okay. It'll be two names to watch to see if they pull ahead. If they keep this up, they're going to.
Yeah.
Increase their lead.
Hey guys, I was just walking around the concourse, and you bump into people all the time, and I bumped in to my good friend Greg Earlywine from Earlywine Painting EPC, and we've been promoting his painting company all weekend because he's been generous enough to donate $1,000 if someone were to bowl a 300, and yesterday we saw that happen with Brandon Novak, who is just 1 pin out of the lead right now, and he is our defending champion. And I'm actually here with Greg right now. Greg, what is it about this tournament that made you want to get involved and put together this great sponsorship?
Well, it's a prestigious tournament around this area. Jason and I have become friends over the years, and just thought it'd be a good opportunity to get the company some airtime and do something good for the community.
That's awesome. When it comes to painting, I had this question. I wanted to know, do you just paint in Lexington? Can you go, how far do you go, and how do people get in touch with you if they're looking for a job, commercial, residential? Tell us what you got.
We do commercial and residential. We do it probably within the 3 or 4 state area. We go to Indiana, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia. So we kind of have a pretty good reach. Do commercial and residential. Like I said, they can reach me at my phone, 859-621-8329, or they can reach me at epcky@yahoo.com.
Awesome. Do you bowl yourself, too? I mean, do you got a little bowling in your blood? I want to find out a little bit about your bowling game.
No, bowling is my handicap. I bowl a little bit. I don't carry but about a 175, 180, but enjoy it.
Awesome. Anything else that you want to let the folks at home know about your company or anything like that?
No, just give us a call and give us an opportunity. We're always fair with our pricing and do a phenomenal job. So if you want it done right first time, call Earlywine.
Well, that sounds good to me. And I'll tell you, I just recently started painting my house, and I got towards the edges of the room, and I couldn't edge very good. And I started screwing up my ceiling and everything else, and I need to hire some professionals. I don't know if you come to Utah or not, but you do not want to tackle that painting job yourself. So give Greg a call. And, Greg, thank you again so much. I know the entire field here appreciates having that opportunity for the $1,000, and hopefully we'll see you next year part of the tournament.
Absolutely. I plan on sponsoring the shot again next year.
All right, man. Well, 2 years in a row, somebody's bowled 300. Maybe next year you won't have to do it.
Amen.
I knew that was probably the case. That's Greg Earlywine. Thanks so much for your time, Greg, and what a great guy he is, huh?
Yeah. Sounds like a good guy.
Big time thanks to Greg for helping sponsor the event. We appreciate it, and I'm sure Brandon appreciates it as well.
Yeah, I bet he does.
Were you guys laughing, trying to make fun of me?
Not at all.
During that?
Why would we do that?
I saw a couple stares.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I don't know what you're talking about either.
Okay, good. Well, game number 5 will be up after game number 4.
Good observation.
And when that happens, that's when we turn into a track meet. And I will be running back and forth. And Dave Wodka will have pencil and paper in hand.
I like how you trust him over me to write scores down.
You're gonna have,
I don't blame him.
Boy, oh man,
you're gonna have to keep up
You're
gonna have to keep up with the wireless camera and the switching from pair to pair when I'm getting you shots of people that need strikes and things to try to make it in, and it's so bunched up that this is going to be an impossible task.
And I will.
It's going to be exciting.
I need to go get a taller chair. I need like a bar stool chair for the last game so I can see everything.
Well, what we usually do during that game is we do one of these.
Yeah, I know.
Wait.
Do you need some orange reflectors to direct that traffic with?
I think so.
Yeah.
I know what to get you for Christmas next year. It's too early for you to be this wired, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, probably is. Gordon Beck posed a good question that we did not talk about. What do you think the prediction for the top 8 cut? He's thinking -10.
I think it's going to stay plus. I think it'll stay right around even. I think there's a few guys lined up just enough to keep it plus. I'm going to say we end up with only 8 people plus.
I can't see the standing sheet on the.
Right now we have 10 people plus, and I just think if you remain at plus, you're going to make the cut. One of the guys in the cut currently is Rick Hale, who has 3 opens in 4 frames this game so far. He's actually going to be on 160 pace this game. So he's going to need a big last half of the game to bail that out.
Boy.
What's your prediction?
8th place right now is 17 over. Barry is 13 away. Walchek 15 away.
Serial killer, you have been blocked. You've been blocked indefinitely for vileness. It's a Sunday morning, people. Let's keep your vileness to yourself.
All right, I'm going to predict 24 over.
Wow. You're going way high.
Yep.
24 over?
Yep.
I was going to, I like mine, well, no, I like +10.
So we got 24 over, we got 10 over, and I say even.
Here we go.
And then, of course, we have Gordon Beck that says -10. Or does that say actually +5 to 10? Is that
Gordon was up here.
Okay.
Who
is that?
Happy Gilmore says
So-
he thinks it's going to be +5 to 10. What? What?
What possesses people to just
Say
hop
that?
hop in some bowling chat and type that?
Well, good thing we have the chat police right on top of it over here.
Oh,
Matt Turek.
You know what? No, we actually have 3 people looking at it. Matt, myself, and Ricky Matsko is also a moderator. He can block and ban people as well.
Gotcha.
You know what we should do for Ricky Matsko? This is no BS, Dave. This is truthful. I know I give you trouble and I joke around a lot. But Ricky Matsko, you are like his favorite bowler.
Okay.
If we were to take a
listening.
selfie and I were to send it to him, he would probably not talk for the next hour.
I think we need to bring a care package back home to Ricky Matsko from Dave Wodka.
And what exactly are you proposing for that care package?
Maybe a ball with an autograph on it.
I think
maybe
you
a
should
ball
just
that-
send him your left sock. Send him your left sock. He'd like that. You go from bowling both sides. I'm sorry. I had to go there.
Oh. Are we done with Game 4 yet?
Not yet, Dave.
Game 4 has been a little bit of a train wreck in here.
Hunker down. No, Mike's idea is actually a good idea if that could happen.
I will see what we can do when we have this little break after Game 5.
I hope you got more socks in your car.
Matsko has absolutely loved you. He really has. I remember when you made a couple telecasts. Matsko's always been a big Ebonite fan over the years. He particularly really liked the 8-ball. I remember that.
I did make a telecast with the 8-ball. That was 1998 in the Johnny Petraglia Open in North Brunswick, New Jersey.
And I know he really liked that ball, and I know he loved the Tidal Wave Sparkle.
He's got one now.
Yeah.
He throws it. He found one.
The original Tidal Wave, the dark green one, is actually the ball that I used in Wichita to tie Norm Duke's 6-game record. So I was a little bit of a fan of the Tidal Wave myself.
Ricky says the Tombstone.
Yeah, okay.
The Riptide.
I did throw the Tombstone on TV too. We won't talk about that. Although that was my 2 highest games ever on TV were with that ball. Ironically enough, and those were the only 2 games I used that ball ever.
Wow.
The other thing that I remember about the 8-ball, because I just recently put this together, and I did not want to have to put this together, but I did it back in May. I believe it was Memorial Day weekend when I put together the Sean Swanson tribute. Sean used the 8-ball.
In Portland, Oregon. Yep, he did. Real quick, Doug Moss asking what EBI balls have seen the most play during this tournament. Really, I would say the Hammer Arson High Flare Solid and the Columbia Raw Urge and the Track Paradox have probably been the 3 most popular for this week.
Man, J.R. Raymond just left that 9-pin too. I saw it on my screen for a second time.
Yep. Made the spare.
JR's in a spot right now, too, where if he would have struck out, he could have bowled 258. And JR's the type of guy that can continue to feed it to the 1-3 and do something like that. And I was just looking where JR was in the standings. He's in 18th. Yeah, but he's about 50 out of the top 8. And I was just thinking, man, if he could bowl 250, he's there, you know. And he had it left. He's still got 238 left. And no, he doesn't. He has, 208.
208.
Yeah,
208. Yeah, you were a frame ahead.
Yeah, I was looking for the 11th frame.
Nice plug for Riggs right there.
Yeah, Riggs has been watching this weekend. Riggs has been watching. Take you back over to 25 and 26.
Who do we have on that pair? Jeff, is that
Jeff White.
Ricky Fuller, Chris Priode, and Cameron Doyle?
Yep. I don't see Cameron down there, though. I don't know where he is.
No, I don't know where he is either.
I'm looking at Turek's sheet here.
And we're getting into the last half of this game 4. Just a couple frames left for most of the players. And then I'll be on standing duty so I can see everything.
We got some Joshua Berry fans in the chat. Appreciate us covering him.
Joshua Berry is currently in 9th place. Just 13 pins off the cut number right now. Do we see if I can get you a score update on Joshua Berry for this game 4? Let me find him real quick. He is on the pair with Brian Robinson. He is the D bowler with Brian Wallachek and Brian Robinson. So
On 21 and 22 this game.
yes, he has 87. Actually, he has 105 in the 6th and shooting the 310 split in the 7th. So he's pacing at 180 at the moment. He's going to need to step it up a little bit here.
Yeah, we'll actually let you be able to see that. So we move you.
No, so that's that 310 on the right side of your screen there. That is Joshua Berry getting ready to shoot that. So you'll see that in a couple seconds. After Brian Wallachek shoots the 1-2-4 and spares it.
I'm usually not nosy, but I just saw JC in your phone. Has he been watching? Has he been watching a little bit this weekend? He sent us a text yesterday.
Yeah, I think he might have watched a little bit yesterday. He was texting me for updates and stuff. I don't think he had a chance. I think he's enjoying a weekend with his family.
Good for him. Talking about Jason Couch, of course. You got big shoes to fill when your initials are JC on this planet.
I'm just going to let that one go. I'm just going to let that one go. And Joshua Berry is getting ready to get up on lane 22 after J.R. Raymond throws this shot on lane 20. J.R. can strike out for 208. And he liked that one. That was a great shot. 208 is going to keep him close if he can get this one. It's going to give him a chance. He's still going to need about 230 the last game, but
I don't always talk about bowling balls, but sometimes you just see a ball in a guy's hand that just matches up, and JR really is making that Warrior look good this weekend.
yeah, he's been throwing it a lot of the weekend.
It's a 46 feet in length pattern with 44 milliliters of oil on the lane. A typical house shot, if it's a wood house, will have around 24 to 25 milliliters. If it's a synthetic surface, an older synthetic surface, you're looking at around 18 to 20 milliliters on a lane on a house shot usually. And if you're looking at one of the new slick installs of one of the not so high friction surfaces, maybe like the Brunswick Anvil lane, you're looking at between 14 and 17 mils of oil for a house pattern, which should last throughout the entire night of league. So when you think in terms of this tournament, having 44 milliliters of oil on a lane is a tremendous amount of oil. And when they're oiling so far down the lane to 46 feet, the other important thing is I did get a chance to look at the pattern. Is a lot of times when you say the distance of the pattern, it'll stop oiling maybe at 30 feet, and it's just the brush running to the end of the pattern, touching the lane, not applying any more oil to the brush after about 30 feet or so. But this particular pattern oils to 43 feet. It keeps applying oil to the brush to 43 feet down the lane, and that's why you're seeing such a what we call tight lane condition, which means you're not going to see much change of direction from the outside part of the lane down lane. to create maximum entry angle, and that's why it's so difficult to strike on this pattern and to even hit the 1-3 over and over again for a right-hander, or the 1-2, of course, if you're left-handed.
Well, we got JR with 194, so he is going to need a really big game the last game. However, we do have some players that are in the top 8 that are struggling a little bit, or just outside the top 8. Again, Joshua Berry's having a rough game. He's got a strikeout in the 9th and 10th for 194. Brian Robinson is pacing at 194, can still strike out for 224. Rick Hale is having a rough game. He's going into his 10th frame, needs to strike out for 183, only pacing 163. And Terrence Bright, who is currently tied for 3rd and 4th, has to make the 1-2-4-7 in the 10th for 150. Otherwise, he's going to shoot 140. So we're going to have a lot of shakeups again. Brian Wallachek, who is only 10 pins outside the cut, is only shooting 180 right now, only pacing 186.
The number's going down.
I think that minus 10 number might be looking a little better. Who was that? Was that Gordon Beck that did that?
I believe it was.
Tom Doherty just walked by and said, "Let the bloodbath begin, boys." Also got a text coming in from Antonio Medina a little while ago. He says, next time you're at a tournament and people wear name shirts and their name is longer than 3 syllables or have 3 consonants in a row, they have to include the phonetic pronunciation underneath their name. Then he follows up with a picture that he's actually finally watching us and says, "Thank you, baby Jesus, for internet TV. Just took about 10 minutes to type in the address and get the video to load on my smart TV." Thank you, Antonio, for checking in and letting us know exactly what you're doing in your life this morning.
Can you imagine taking a remote control with the little circle arrows and typing in youtube.com/InsideBowling? I bet it did take 10 minutes.
EJ Tackett, I believe, bowled 222 that game. And he was tied for 5th, 6th, and 7th. Brian Robinson just left the 1-2-4 in the 9th, so if he makes this, he will have to strike out in the 10th for 204. And Corey Gilbert, I don't know where Corey Gilbert is. Let me see if I can find a score for him. He's the C bowler with Sterner.
Sterner is...
We're switching. We're in between games. I think we might have missed. I'm not sure who it was, but we'll get you an update on that as quick as we can. And I will try to get my periodic Chris Vi update for you as quick as I can.
Corey had 206 last game. 206 for Corey Gilbert.
Okay, thank you for that. Our roaming friend.
RF.
Roaming Mike.
Chris Vi last game had 203.
Okay, so that will put him at only -7. He's probably going to be really close to the cut now, actually.
Brendan Novak looks like shot 226. Did we cover?
Yep, and that should be everybody in the top 8. Brandon Hott had, what did Brandon Hott have? I think we missed him.
Yeah, they started game 5 down there.
Yep.
Somebody in the chat asked how is Erin McCarthy doing, and she just happens to be standing right next to me. Erin McCarthy, how are you doing?
Oh, not very well. Not very well at all.
Okay, take us through your games. Could you tell us what you bowled today?
203, 183, 155, 176.
Okay, what happened with the up and down roller coaster ride here? What do you attribute that to?
Not very good shots, not very good ball reaction, and my spare shooting has been subpar.
Is there anything you'd like to say to your fans in the chat?
Hi from Team Muffin.
There you have it.
Dave Watkins is losing. He's already moved. He's already down there now. Mike is flying through the bowling center.
I'm just getting a couple pairs finishing up Game 5 here. Some of them, or Game 4. Some of them have already started Game 5. So we will do our best to keep you updated. Brian Robinson finished game. Let's see. I'm going to do my best tournament director deal here. Brandon Novak had what, 226?
Yeah.
Aaron Lorenz, do we know what he had?
We do not.
Mike,
He's
if,
down.
Mike, if you can hear, can you get me an update on Aaron Lorenz's Game 4?
He's on it. Jason Sterner now for Game 5 is on 17 and 18.
Trying to get some scores here. I'm going to try to get an update on the cut number as quick as I can, even without waiting for the tally. Joshua Berry doubled in the 10th, so he's going to be in the low 180s, as well as Brian Wallachek, who just threw a pretty good shot in the 10th for a 7-pin.
Aaron Lawrence, 238.
238.
And that's unofficial. He said it was in the 230s. He believes it was 238, so it's
Okay.
unofficial.
Thank you for that. And what did you said Corey Gilbert had what, 206?
It was 204 or 6. I think 6 is correct.
Okay.
It's cold in here. Yeah.
It's cold outside today.
It is.
It's 25 degrees colder today than when we got here on Friday morning.
Yeah, I woke up to some snow this morning, a little dusting.
Yep. Brian Wallach.
Mike was like, this is nothing. I just shoveled 5 feet out of my driveway before I left. By hand.
Uphill both
Yeah,
ways.
in bare feet. Anthony Simonson can strike for 203.
Simonson
I
didn't make the cut.
Who am I thinking of?
I'm gonna say
Cameron Doyle.
I'm gonna give you a prediction based on what I've got here, that the cut number is going to be -7 after that game.
Okay, unofficially, -7. Game number 4 is still finishing up here on 25 and 26. Cameron Doyle, 201.
And we got this is the last shot of Game 4 right there. Ricky Fuller shooting the 7-10. And now everybody will be into Game 5, so we will be running around crazy this game, keeping you updated.
Yep, we're going to come down here to 19 and 20, game number 5. A, Andy Campbell. B, Ari Wilson. C, Ben Pallardy, my sleeper. And D, Greg Van Gundy.
Where's your watcher at?
My watcher is, I don't think he's doing so hot. He's out front here, 23 and 4.
Somebody asked how many females bowled this year. I believe the number was 8, which is up from last year. Last year there was only 2.
And Erin McCarthy is the only one
That made it to today.
that made it to
Yes,
today.
she is the only one that made it to today.
Hey, where's Jeff Fair sit at going into Game 4?
Going into Game 4, Jeff Fair was -77.
He had 168 game 4.
Well, that would put him minus 100 and change.
Okay.
Then.
Just going around getting some scoops from people because I see he's got a double down here, and when guys start to string strikes, I like to try to see if they can get there.
Do you any idea what Brian Dennis and/or Jason Sterner bowled game 4?
Sterner is down here if you want a score sheet on 17 and 18.
I need you to help me out with Brian Dennis. I'm not familiar.
Brian Dennis is the A bowler on Sterner's pair, actually.
Okay, that's 17
So
and 18.
17 and 18.
Mike's going to get that here just momentarily.
All right. That'll help us with a little update on the number. That could change my number that I had at -7.
What'd you have last game? Sterner was in the 170s last game.
Okay, and Brian Dennis is the A bowler on that. Okay, who do we have on 19 and 20 here? Are any of these?
19, we have Ben Pallardy, Ari Wilson, Andy Campbell, and Jeff Van Gundy.
Greg Van Gundy.
Greg Van Gundy.
Jeff Van Gundy's an NBA coach.
The other score you were looking for was 169 on Sterner's pair, letter A.
Okay, so Sterner had 170 something, and Brian Dennis had 160.
169. Yep.
Okay.
Hey, Ari, what did you have last game?
Getting Ari Wilson.
Ari had 196 last game.
So Ari is only 14 under, so he's going to be within 10 pins of the cut. I still think my number of -7 is going to be right, and that actually is Chris Vi, who is -7. It's either that or I missed one person, but we should have a score update pretty quick now. Everybody started game 5.
Chris Vi, game 5, strike, spare, double.
Nice.
And who is that with the front 4 down there in front of you, Mike? Is that Brian Dennis?
Brian Dennis.
Okay. And who do we have on 25 and 6? We've got actually 3 players that are somewhat close.
Derek Patterson, Brian Walchek, Brian Robinson, and Josh Berry.
Yeah, and 3 of the Brian Wallachek, Brian Robinson, and Joshua Berry are all right around the number.
Hey, what was Farber at coming into all that?
Farber was 80 under going into game 4.
Farber had 194 game 4.
So he's 86 under then.
Yeah, and he's got double spare strike.
Okay. Well, if he shoots 279, that's probably enough.
Yeah, I'll let you know when he doesn't have 250 or better left, and you can scratch him, or we'll keep him cruising along here, and maybe he'll never get scratched.
I think Lee Bedores just texted me. Says Watsky's is doing such a fine job on the scores, he's worried about his job security.
Now, this should be a little easier to keep up with just for the fact that we've got like some pairs that are 5 frames ahead of other pairs, so not everybody's going to finish at the same time.
Saves Mike's legs.
There was a country song called Daddy's Hands. Maybe Mike's legs.
And once again, random thoughts of the day by Mike Flanagan.
Somebody was asking for a Tom Smallwood update.
I'm right here by him. He's got spare, strike up in the fourth frame on lane 32.
He was 72 under before game 4. I do not know what he had game 4.
He had 199 game 4.
So he's 73 under going into this game.
We had him at 89 under.
Am I looking at something wrong?
He was 88 under after 3.
Yeah, for today. That's for today.
Oh, that's all that is on there?
Yes,
okay.
that's for today.
Thank you.
He did. He actually had 159, 149 back-to-back games 2 and game 3.
Yeah, now Smalls has spare, double.
Still in it. Not out of it yet. And Brian Dennis now has the front 5, so we're going to need to keep an eye on that as he was 36 under going into this last game and now has the front 5.
Brandon Novak, 47 in the third with 4 in a row.
Just watch Aaron McCarthy chop the 2-8. That's been tough all weekend.
Anything that has more than 1 pin's been tough.
Very true.
1 pin's even been tough sometimes too. We watched Zeke Bate Mitch Beasley miss a 10 pin early in that roll off last night, and Zeke Bate chopped the 6 off the 10. If you're on 19 and 20, you can see Brian Dennis on the left-hand side of your screen. He's delivering the ball right now.
And we are on that pair, and that's a 6-10. So still leaves a makeable spare, and I think we have an official update. And I was actually wrong. It's not -7. It's -11.
Wow.
Is the cut going into the last game. Your top 8 right now: Brandon Hott, Aaron Lorenz, Brandon Novak, EJ Tackett, Corey Gilbert, Brian Robinson in 6th at +16, Chris Vi in 7th at -7, Terrence Bright in 8th at -11, and then within 30 pins of that goes all the way down to Matt Ogle and Steve Novak at 19th. So we have a lot going on this last game. We've got all the way down to 19th within 30 pins of 8th.
Okay, so can you give me some of those names? You said Ogle and Novak.
Yeah, Steve Novak, Matt Ogle, J.R. Raymond, Jason Sterner, Brian Dennis, Aaron Morgan, Ronnie Sparks, Joshua Berry, Rick Hale, Ari Wilson, Brian Wallachek are all within 30 pins of the cut number. You got all that?
Yeah.
You remember
Good
all
luck,
that?
Mike.
We'll see how good you are now.
All right, Ronnie Sparks has 64 in the 4th with a spare up in the 5th. He'll be up in the 6th momentarily, so he's going at a sub-200 pace.
Okay. We got Brian Wallachek right here in front of us. He is only through 2 frames very early on. Same with Rick Hale, clean through 4. Ari Wilson is just over here to our left.
Yeah, he's on a feature pair, 19 and 20. And if you go to 19 and 20, you'll catch Novak on the right side of your screen, or left side of your screen.
We'll go back.
All right, Novak's getting up right now. He's clean through 5, no doubles. A good shot right there.
Just got a strike.
Yep. And we've got Ari. Again, these are all early on in the game.
Yep.
Still a lot of time to go.
Yeah, Ari 46 in the 3rd, spare up in the 4th.
Really, I would say, we really only have 4 people that are probably locked in.
Hey, where's Vi?
Vi is -7. He's in 7th at the moment.
Okay, so just to give you an update on him, I know he's got some fans in the chat. We've got strike, spare, ham bone.
Wow, you dropped a ham bone. You had to drop a ham bone today. Wow. So Chris Vi in very good position to make the top 8.
Farber can still bowl 247 is his max.
And that's probably not going to be enough. That would only get him to 39 under. That's not going to be enough.
So he's someone that can probably get a little asterisk next to his name.
Yep.
And we'll try to keep those going.
Brett Shepard, you got an update on Brett Shepard? Where is he? He's right here. Is he the B bowler or the D bowler? He is D. He's not gonna be in either.
He can bowl 225 if he were to throw the back 7.
Yeah, that would get him to 25 under. So he's not quite out of it yet.
Guys, they've posted a prize list on the event information tab on InsideBowling.com. You'll want to shoot on over to InsideBowling.com, click on the live streaming banner at the top of your screen, and then go down below the streaming window, click on the blue event information tab, click manual refresh, and you can check that out.
How much is 8th and 9th?
Well,
8th is 1,200, and 9th is 1,000.
Yeah.
So $200 difference between that for making this cut.
40th is
400.
20th?
500.
Okay.
Brian Robinson, clean with a double through 4 frames. So little update for Chris Vi. He did get a 5-bagger now. So he is securely in, I believe. Pacing at 230 with just 3 frames to go. And we've got Terrence Bright, who had shot 160 last game, was all the way down to 8th. Now has a triple and clean through 6 frames in this last game. So that's, Gordon Beck, that -10 number, might not quite make it. Chris Vi is pacing 230 and Terrence shooting 210. Might make that number go back up.
Is Easton in it?
Charles Easton. No, he is 93 under.
Okay, best he can get to is 203. He's in the 10th frame. This pair 33 and 4 already just about done.
Is that Brandon Novak's pair?
Yeah, if you want to come to me, Matt, I've got Novak right here.
Okay.
And Novak is locked in.
Good shot for Novak.
Yeah, he can still bowl 223. That was his second shot in the 10th frame.
Back to 9 and 10.
19 and 20. Where's we got a Corey Gilbert update? Oh, he's down there. No, I got it. He is. He's having a rough game, actually.
We have
Smallwood can still bowl 228. I've got him here on the camera.
I'm sorry. That Corey Gilbert is not. Corey Gilbert's still pacing at 206 through 8 frames.
10 pin for Smallwood. There's a front 7 still down on 15 at 16.
That's actually Chris Vi. He's got strike spare 5-bagger.
Oh, okay.
That's Chris Vi.
Okay.
Somebody asking about Brian Wallachek and Joshua Berry. They are right here in front of us. Brian Wallachek has strike spare double. Joshua Berry has spare double spare. So both hanging in there. Rick Hale also just outside the number is clean with no doubles through 6 frames. Terrence Bright actually just had a 1-pin spare and missed it. So he is now only pacing on 206.
I've got a final for Novak, 221.
Okay, thank you for that.
Brandon, that is. Brandon Novak, 221.
So that puts him at 69 over and locked into the top 8. And Brett Shepard just left a 4-pin, which puts him out. He cannot get there.
Aaron Lawrence was striking away going into the 10th frame, left grandma's teeth, and finished with 190.
Aaron Lawrence, 190, so he's 54 over. Still plenty. Mike, who's got that 4-bagger right there in front of you?
C on 30.
C on
Blue shirt.
Okay, and that's Ricky Fuller's pair, is that right? C, Chris Priode. No, he's 140 under, so that one's not going to matter.
Yeah, he's got a max score of 290.
Chris Vi struck in the 8th, so he is now into the 240s this game. Brandon Hott's bowling another good game. He's got a 4-bagger this game again. So he looks like he's going to be your leader going into the top 8.
Sterner can bowl 214.
Okay, and he was at 38 under. So I don't think that's going to be enough now. I think the scores are, it's actually going to go up a little bit the last game.
I've got Vi down here.
Okay.
And he's getting up in the 9th frame, looking for a 7-bagger. Great shot. So
we call that the ham turkey dinner here, Dave.
Yeah, we've got Chris Vi has secured himself a spot in the top 8.
Ronnie Sparks can get to 199.
Uh, 199 would only get him to 25 under.
Steve Novak has just 4-9'd in the 9th frame and is going to be in the 170s if he strikes out.
So he is out. Ari Wilson, what do we have for Ari Wilson?
Ari Wilson, 108 in the 7th, can only get to 198.
That would put him at 16 under, which is still a possibility. But Brian Wallachek, Joshua Berry, and Terrence Bright are all bowling fairly good games. Corey Gilbert, pretty much just a mark in the 10th, will lock him in. May not even need a mark, actually. Brian Robinson also clean with a double. EJ Tackett is...
I've got Gilbert, Matt.
Okay. Crossed over.
EJ Tackett is at 45 over, but only has 83 in the 5th this game. So he is on a strike in the 6th. This shot here in the 7th frame is kind of big for him to try to get another strike here, put a double up, and actually secure himself.
I'm going to go there.
And he's getting up on 22 right now. We're going to get a shot of that. There we go. And a shaker 7-pin. Still shooting 180. If he just spare strikes out, he would still be about 20 over. So just needs to mark out, and he'll be safe. Chris Vi spared in the 10th. He's going to finish with a game in the 250s.
Yeah, he can still bowl 259. Farber can bowl 195. Sterner can still bowl 214.
And that would still That would still give Sterner an outside chance as Terrence Bright just opened again, so he's now down into the 190s. And EJ missed that 7-pin, Mike. So EJ has now got 111 in the 7th. If he were to spare strike out, he would be at plus 16. He may actually need a double somewhere.
Mike's got a good look at Jason Sterner.
Yeah, Sterner can bowl 214. This is going to be his second shot in the 10th. He struck in the 9th, and he delivered the first strike in the 10th frame. This one here, we'll put him in the 2 teens. He can bowl 214. If he goes 9 spare here, it'd be 203. Needs a strike.
Corey Gilbert finished with 192, which puts him at plus 15.
I'll get you a Sterner update when he completes.
And Terrence Bright is got to make the washout in the 9th frame, or he is going to be down into the pacing at 180. So we're it's getting a little sketchy here now. Now this pair 25 and 6 that we're watching right here, 3 of these guys are all right around the number. Brian Wallachek getting up right now is only 2 pins outside of the cut, and this would be for a double to get him pacing into the 2 teens.
Sterner bowls 200.
Okay, so he's out.
So what are we looking at here for sure is in?
EJ just 210 now. For sure in. Brandon Hott, Aaron Lorenz, Brandon Novak, and Chris Vire for sure in.
So we've got 4 in. We're looking for 4 more spots.
And we've got 3 of them right here in front of us. Joshua Berry's actually in the 220s right now. So he's making a nice run. Brian Dennis, I know he started out good. We need to see what he ended up with. He was the A bowler on Novak's pair.
266. He bowled 266.
Brian Dennis bowled 266?
Yes, he did.
Okay, well, that is a big game. He was 36 under, so he's now plus 30.
So he's in. So we have 5 in.
He's not officially in yet, believe it or not.
At plus 33?
At plus 30.
Plus 30.
He's not officially in based on what happens on 25 and 26, and based on what happens with EJ, who just opened again in the 8th. EJ now has 120 in the 8th. He is at plus 45. If he would strike spare out, he would be down to plus 5. Brian Robinson getting up on lane 25 right here to looking for a double. And a 4-pin. Almost tripped it out of there.
Anybody else you need updates on?
Aaron Morgan was the B bowler on Chris Vai's pair. The scores are already gone off that pair.
It's going to be 180 or less.
Okay, then he's out. And Rick Hale is now officially out. He cannot get there. Ari Wilson cannot get there. Ronnie Sparks cannot get there. Aaron Morgan cannot get there.
EJ Tackett with a 2-pin in the 9th.
Terrence Bright made that washout in the 9th to keep himself in it, actually. He's going to have to double in the 10th to have any chance. And Joshua Berry getting up right here. I know we got some Joshua Berry fans in the chat. He's going to get up on lane 25 looking for a 4-bagger, which would actually put him into the 230s. And he is currently only at 15 under. This is a big shot for him right here.
Wrap 10.
Great shot.
It was a great shot. Just work on picking up his spare.
Anybody on 19 and 20 need an update on?
No, Ari was the only one, and he's out now.
Yeah, he can bowl 177.
Yep. So we're
Brandon Hott's going to bowl 250 maybe.
yeah. Yep. He is going to be your leader. And Brian Wallachek with a little bit of a soft 10, still in good position. He's again only 2 pins out of the cut at the moment. And with the happenings of EJ Tackett over here, it's making it very interesting. EJ has to strike out in the 10th for 170 even, which would put him at only plus 15, which would be tied with Corey Gilbert. We could end up with a tie.
Mike.
Terrence Bright leaves a 6 pin in the 10th, so he's going to, best he can shoot is 194, which would put him at minus 15, which I do not think is going to be enough. There were actually some decent games this last game, so Gordon, again, your minus 10 number is not going to happen.
The last pair to get done will be 25 and 26.
And
I will have bonus coverage here in just a moment on 21 and 22 of EJ Tackett's 10th frame.
And 25 and 6 is that's the pair that's going to determine the number, because 3 of them have a chance to go into the number.
So as soon as we get a final from Brandon Hott, I'd like for you to run us through in the clubhouse who's in.
Okay, I can do that right now. Brandon Hott, Brandon Hott, Aaron Lorenz, Brandon Novak, and Chris Vi are all in.
And what's the lowest number out of those? That group?
The lowest number out of those is about 45 over.
Okay.
And then we have Brian Dennis, who's in the clubhouse at plus 30. And then Corey Gilbert is in at plus 15. And then we've got 4 or 5 other people that still have a chance to change that number.
And one of them's Wallachek right here.
Yes, Wallachek bowling right here. And what a great shot right there. So we've got all 3 of these guys set up in the 10th to make that plus 15 number could possibly still not make it. And Joshua Berry with a little errant shot there leaves the 128. Gonna have to pick that up.
EJ Tackett is taking no time. He's already got his ball in his hand, and Aaron McCarthy just barely got off the approach.
All right, well, looks like we're gonna get some bonus coverage of EJ here.
First ball of the 10th.
And a
Boy,
great
he
shot
knew it.
there.
You could tell he knew
Yeah,
it.
that was a great shot there. Brian Robinson over here while we're watching EJ. Brian Robinson left a 6 pin. He's currently 16 over. If he makes the 6 pin, he will be in the 2 O's, so it'll keep him ahead of that plus 15 number of Corey Gilbert. And Joshua Berry made his spare in the 9th. So he has a possibility to strike out in the 10th for 234. And he's currently at minus 15. Big shot for EJ right here to have any chance.
Oh, man.
And he is going to be, if he gets 3 of these, he will be at plus 2. I'm sorry, plus 3. Still with a chance, but very slim now. He's going to need a lot of help. Brian Robinson made his spare. And we'll get an official tally for EJ once he shoots his spare here. And then we'll be down to just 25 and 26 with 2 players left. And you got 2. That's 157. So he ends up at +2. And Brian Robinson, 205, ends up at +21.
Is it safe to say that the 30 plus 30 is
30
in now?
Yeah, the 30 is now in.
So we can say there's 5 that are in?
Yep. So Brian Dennis is in with 266 the last game. And that was a really good shot by Joshua Berry there for a light 7-pin. So with a spare and a strike, Joshua Berry would get to +8.
So Hot's going to be your leader at plus. What do you have him at?
He had 247 the last game, so he's going to be 145.
And second is going to be
What did Brandon Novak have that last game?
224.
So he's second at +72. Aaron Lorenz is third at +54.
Okay.
Chris Vi at +52. Brian Dennis at +30. And Brian Wallachek just split a 4-6 in the 10th. This could change a little bit. Brian Robinson is now in at +21.
So that's 6 spots.
Brian Wallachek, 206. That puts him at -7.
Any other scores in the clubhouse?
Yeah, +15. Corey Gilbert's going to be in. And now Joshua Berry at +7. Looks like that's the number, Mike. Unofficially, I've got it at +7.
Which is Hot, Novak, Lawrence, Vi, Dennis, Robinson, Gilbert, and Berry in that order.
That's what I've got. And then first out would be EJ at +2.
Tackett is out unofficially at +2.
Yep. And then it goes down to -7, which is Brian Wallachek. And then down to Terrence Bright, and I don't know exactly what he finished at, but he's around 15 or 20 under.
Okay, so there you have it. Unofficially right now here, according to us up here in the booth, Hot leads at +145. Novak at +72 is second. Lawrence at +54 will be third. Vi will be in fourth at +52. Fifth, Dennis at +30. Robinson at +21 is sixth. Gilbert and seventh is +15. And Berry is in eighth at +7. That's what we have. Tackett on the outside, 5 pins behind. EJ Tackett finishes at +2, goes backwards. So according to our seedings, that would be Hot versus Berry, Novak versus Gilbert, Lawrence versus Robinson, and Vi versus Dennis.
And we will. Do we stick around for an official?
No, we'll update that through our social media and down below on our event information tabs. At this point in time, we're going to need to sign off the air because we have to get our cameras set for the round of 8. So thank you, Dave Wodka, for joining us. It was exciting there down the stretch. Matt Turek, of course. That's going to be it for now from the 2016 Bradley Open. We should be back within the hour with match play, bracket, elimination bracket, best 2 out of 3 matches. Here from Lexington, Kentucky, here at the Collins Bowling Center at the 2016 Bradley Open, co-sponsored, title sponsored by Hammer Bowling and News Center Consulting. We'll be right back. We'll see you in a little bit.